skill. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hanson. Tonight I am joined by the poker babe, Shirley Rosario, and we're in for another exciting night. Yep. 300 to 500, no limit hold'em, $300 max, $300 minimum, $500 max. So this is a restricted buying game, but the blinds are 5 and 5, so it really gives you a lot to play with.
Right.
It's actually my favorite game to play here at the casino. So without further ado, let's get to the action and let's go around and introduce the table.
I couldn't lay down after the 3 and 5.
Okay, in seat number 1 we have Eric. Seat 2 we have Alan. Demetrius in seat 3. That's Gus in seat 4. Danny in seat 5. Harry in seat 6. David Kelsey in seat 7, Andy in seat 8, and David Ho will be there in seat 9.
So 2 Davids on the table, David H in seat 9, David K in seat 7.
Right.
And
you can say Ho when you're talking about a last name.
David K in seat 7, David Kelsey, and I believe Gus have come here especially to play on the show tonight.
I'm familiar with a lot of these players, yeah. The only one it looks like I'm not familiar with is 5.
Well, we all know Al. Al's become a regular 3 to 5 player here at Live at the Bike, seat 2. And again, he won a jackpot last week on the big end for about $20,000. Wow. We're going to get right into the first hand here.
Yeah, pocket aces for seat 5.
And he's made it 40 to go. A black and a red ace. It doesn't look like...
So these chips are $5 here.
Yeah, the yellow chips are $5 chips. Purples are 25s. If you see whites, they're hundreds. The blues are $1.
$1.
And depending on how loose this table is, I don't think that anyone's really going to call here. We'll
no, it's a pretty big raise. I'm not exactly sure how this table's playing.
And Gus has got King 9. And he's not going to play it. And Danny's going to take it down there. So again, you see the yellow chips there, and you see some purples. Now, normally people will stack their chips in 20-chip stacks. So a stack of yellow is 100, stack of purple would be 500. And the button is going to move over to seat 3. Of course, if you want to follow a live thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Go to forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. And we're right there, official Live the Bike thread for October 18th. Man, it's getting chilly out there in LA.
Yes, well, chilly for us.
Yeah, it's about 60. Looks like we got pocket 8s here, Ace King, a couple of high Broadway cards.
And then a hand I like, 10 Jack of Spades, seat 5.
And it looks like seat 6 raised it with Jack 10 offsuit. So we got 2 Jack 10s in the hand. He made it 20. Al's got the Ace King. He's going to call from the cutoff. Gus is in there with Queen 9 suited. Seat 5's in there with your Jack 10 of Spades. And pocket 8's over there for Andy. So 5-way action, $100 pot. Ace 7-3. Alan's hit top pair. A couple diamonds out there. And let's see if seat 6, who's the pre-flop raiser, continues. Nope. He checks. Now Andy's got... Well, Andy had pocket 8s there, Shirley, and there was only one person behind him with 1 overcard, but he chose to check it. Al bet 60 here with Ace King. And again, I think that Andy's put him in a little bit of a tough spot. I mean, does he know what to do now? By not betting there on the flop. He was second to last to act.
Oh, because Andy didn't bet. Alan's put him in a bad spot? Yeah.
I mean, Al could be
Well, I don't mind the check if you know you're going to fold because, with 4 opponents in there, you know, could be pretty sure that someone has an ace.
Well, he gets out of there.
If, you know, if the flop came Jack high, Jack 7-3 rather, I would probably bet my eights. If it came Queen 7-3, I'd probably bet my eights. But when an ace comes out there, I'm
Just try to hit a set there at that point.
Right.
Ultimate scare
Sorry, I
card.
didn't want to give your hand away.
It's all right, don't worry.
So he muffed. We'll get on with the next hand.
Well, I guess David Ho is not coming into the game in
Sunday, I
sequence.
had
It's gonna
Okay.
pocket aces. I hit back-to-back
think it's gonna be
set on the flop.
ace.
And back-to-back full houses on the turn.
That's his name, Ace? Okay.
12 grand.
But you're not allowed to say that word here. C word.
Button has moved over to seat 4.
Advertising the wrong casino.
They were closed. They weren't open yet.
Just that hour, right?
All the high-limit players were sleeping. On the table.
Seat 1 has
Oh, it's
limped
bedtime, I
in
see.
here. The button's going to limp.
75.
And the blind is going to raise. He's got pocket sixes. And he's made it
He's made a huge raise.
Don't
5
worry about my water.
to go out of the
Worry
blind.
about my hand.
Yeah, I think that toothpick's going to give you cancer before the
Best
light.
starting hand, man.
And he's going to show him, which you're not really a big fan of.
Right.
If you call me, you have
And he
to
takes
live
it
with
down.
the set on the flop.
And a full house on the turn.
So the button here is in seat 5. And we have quite a bit of chips there out on the table.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how long this game's been going on?
I think it's only been going for maybe 30 minutes, but I think there was a game going before that people
So
switched
some of
over
them
for
moved-
them, so they
uh-huh.
were allowed to use, to have their chips.
Make it 30.
We've got a raise here by Eric in seat 1. He's got ace king offsuit. He's going to make it 30 to go. Jack 9 of diamonds, it looks like, in the blind here for Harry. And he's going to make the call. He was in the small blind.
Heads up.
So here we go. We're heads up. Ace king against Jack 9 of diamonds. 8-4 deuce.
Check.
Harry's going to check.
Bet 60.
And Eric's going to bet $60 here. He has the best hand.
Yes.
And he's going to take it down. Harry is not going to get involved.
So I remember Eric from last week. He was putting in those small bets. Do you think he went home and watched Live at the Bike? I remember he kept putting in, like,
King pass with it.
do you remember?
Sorry?
King pass
The
with
really
it.
small bets.
I think, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost was making like incremental bets.
He just,
know,
I
sometimes.
mean, the pots, was 100 and he would bet 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, one of these players pick up on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think that was his way of saying you were wrong.
I don't know. He didn't say it. You said it.
Kept it full.
Looks like Barry Woods is in the house on the 2+2 thread tonight.
And at least say hi to him. Hi, Barry.
He says, I'm glued to the set. I got a couple of buds playing on the table.
It's a family guy.
T5's picked up pocket kings, and he's going to raise it up to 50. Well, big raises here so far for this blind structure.
Yep.
Again, the blinds are only 5 and 5.
Right. Well, this is the same player that put in a huge raise.
And seat 6 is
With
going
his
to call
aces.
with queen jack of clubs on the button.
Yeah, they're pretty deep. I don't mind the $50.
And
He thinks he can.
Andy's going to call here with ace 6 of hearts. And here we go to the flop. It comes out 9.
9-8.
9-8 with a couple of hearts. So Andy has the nut flush draw, and Danny has the overpair, and he's going to bet 100. 100 into a $150 pot. So it's a $250 pot. It's 100 to call. And Andy is going to make the call. It looks like here. He's made the call. He has an overcard and a flush draw. And you wonder how much money he has left over there. Looks like
It looks
maybe
about 2.
200. Turn is an 8. And now, boy, if you actually bet out
This is
here
a
with
great
ace
card
six,
for Andy
yeah,
if he leads out.
Yeah. But he's checked. And Danny checks right behind him. And the river's a 5, and kings
Now
are
let's
good.
see if Andy. No, he still can't pull the trigger.
Yeah. I was also thinking too, Shirley, if you only had 300 left. The pot's 150, the guy bets 100. Can you just move over the top of him right there on the flop and maybe hope that he has something like
Yeah, I
that
thought
he
about
can't
that
call
move
with
too.
on
That's
the flop.
probably what I would have done. I mean, it just depends on the chips that are in front of me.
Right.
But on the turn, I probably would
Yeah.
make a move.
Pocket kings?
Yeah.
I had queen jacks, too.
But on the turn, you would definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Good hand. Wow. That flop must have scared you.
The turn did, not the flop.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
The board must have scared you. How's that?
I'll take that.
Button now is over to seat 7. And seat 9's got pocket aces here in the big blind.
Wow.
And he's going to raise it up. He's going to make it 50 to go. And look at this. Seat 5's going to call with 8-5 of diamonds.
It looks like a 6 to me, Bart.
Oh, 6-8. Yeah, 8-6 of diamonds. He's
Almost the same thing, but
Fairly
it's a little
deep.
bit better. Right.
He's fairly deep, but the guy who's the raiser here only has 400, it looks like.
No, but I still don't know if you had an 8
The
or a
flop
9.
comes king, king, 5.
I know you had hearts. 5.
See how ace plays it.
Close. It's not the 8. Looks like that one. You check? Go ahead.
Queen jack spade.
And it goes check, check.
Oh,
Ace did not bet, and ace is spiked an ace on the turn to make aces full of kings.
$50, $60.
Wow. Check,
I can't
check.
go 100.
Well, if you've got aces, do you check again here? Oh, now
Considering
he's
he's
gonna
in first position, I would check.
bet. Oh, now he's going to bet 45. And look at this.
It
Danny's
worked,
going to
yeah.
make a move. He's going to raise. He's going to raise it up to 100. Now, the only thing here is that because we can see the cards, there's no way that Danny can call a re-raise. So,
But will seat 9 make a re-raise? Will he think
yeah.
jackpot possibilities? The guy might have ace king, another king comes. He
But
thinks
at
about
this
it long
point,
and
I
hard.
would
You
move
can't
all
put
in,
him
and
on
I'd
ace
hope
king.
he had a king.
I hope he has ace. Right.
I just hope he has a king. I mean, he's going to call me with a king anyways if I move all in here.
45 bets.
And he is going to re-raise it. He makes it another 100. Looks like. So he's raised them. Well, he's raised 100. And obviously Danny's not going to do anything here. He has nothing. And ace takes it down. Okay. And we're getting word there, Shirley, that we apologize for the technical difficulties tonight. We're actually going to be about 15 minutes behind tonight, a little bit. So people who's got, or 10 minutes behind, so people who are going to comment on 2+2, just bear with us. You can also email us at live@thebike.com as well. And we will receive and respond to your questions, comments, suggestions.
gaming, Brett Cup.
Got a couple limpers here.
Hey, be careful, careful.
Face. It's 25.
Why do you do that?
And seat 8 is going to raise here to 25. He's got pocket 9s. That's Andy.
So your hand not that good yet, right? Mediocre?
Yeah, pin on the flop.
C2 is going to call here. King 10. Harry had limped in with King 3. Well, that hand doesn't have a lot of value, surely.
No, not at all.
And he makes the call. So we've got three-way action here. Andy is the pre-flop raiser, and it comes ace 4 king. Alan has checked. And now Harry is going to bet. He's going to bet 55. Or, excuse me, 25. And Alan quickly calls. Pocket 9s is out of there. The turn is a deuce. Alan's going to check, and it goes check, check here. And the river
wow.
is a 5. Wow.
That's when King 3 has value. You make 4 cards straight
Yeah.
on the board.
Al checks. Really difficult to put this guy on a 3 here, isn't it? And he's going to
You
bet.
can't. It's hard to make a call with a king. You know,
And he bets
Just a
100.
king.
Yeah.
there's a flush draw out there.
And he shows the 3.
The other one
I
is
didn't want to
for,
see that one. I want
the other one is for being the pocket dealer.
Don't worry, we'll find out. We all have.
Only for
No.
you.
We all paid $199.
Pretty bad beat there
Only
for
I
Al,
show you.
considering
Yeah.
what was out there. But like you said, if you can't beat top pair, obviously, it's going to make it easier for him to lay it down there at the end. Now, I actually talked to Yosh. And again, I know Barry Woods is monitoring this thread. He's a common player at the higher no limit levels. The Whale Knight tomorrow is going to go off, and Yosh was thinking, I told him that, it actually added up more action when the blinds were lowered to 25.50, and
Right.
he was thinking about doing that. So tomorrow night
That would be
might be
good.
that $5,000 max 25.50
Make a
game.
mark.
Just take the paper off. Take the paper off.
I would imagine that a lot of the players are still
Yeah, it's flew on pretty good. It's flew on pretty good.
in Las Vegas playing the big tournament.
Yeah,
The WPT event started today.
4 player.
pot is going to get limped around here. Ace, deuce, 3.
Harry flops a straight.
Check.
Yep,
Do
flops
it,
the wheel
yeah,
in seat 6.
double check.
Okay. That's 20.
And now seat 9 has bet 20 here with queen high. Maybe a little bit of a position bet. Let's see how Harry plays it. He's going to call. Well, we're talking about the difficulties of slow playing when you're out of position. Let's see how this one turns out. And look at that. A 4 comes on the turn. And that is going to be a bit of an action killer there
killer,
for
yeah.
Harry. And, it's just one of those things that happens when,
He leads out.
I didn't need that 4.
and he leads out, and it's very difficult for anybody to call him.
And again, it shows his
Ace.
hand. This
Yeah.
is 3 times he showed his
I
hand.
didn't need that 4, dealer. What is that, dealer? You killed my hand, dealer. I was gonna
Again,
make,
the inherent difficulties of
fried chicken with that,
slow playing when you're out of position.
Right.
You see that? Killed my action.
And he said it. He even
yep.
said it killed his
I was
action.
hoping ace king, ace queen.
You know?
If you knew what seat 9 had, if you knew what ace had,
I see.
didn't really kill your action.
Pocket noise.
Button now has moved over to seat 1. Looks like we got a queen 10 of clubs there for Dimitri in seat 3. We haven't seen him play all night yet.
No.
He's in the blind.
Raise. Make it 10.
And Harry's going to come in for a $10 raise here with king 8 suited.
It's a fundraiser.
So, nice to see that we've got some loose players at the table. Usually makes for a better game.
Mm-hmm.
Eric's in there on the button. Alan completes out of the small blind, and Dimitri checks it. We've got a $40 pot here going 4 ways.
All right, not low.
8-3 deuce. Eric's got an open-ended straight draw there on the button. Harry has top pair, and he's going to bet 100. 100 into a $40 pot.
Eric needs to hit a 4, actually. Not quite open-ended.
Oh, he got a gut shot. You're right. Actually,
Alan has
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alan
Alan's
has
got
the
a pair.
4. Right.
thought I might have saw a double gutter there. But not yet.
Come on, 10 to 100.
Not even.
I want to play heads up, man.
And everybody folds.
Don't show it.
Might have lost.
And he shows the 8.
5-6.
So you never have to worry about, calling him just to see
For
his cards.
information,
Yeah.
No, of course not.
He'll give it to you for free.
Yep.
There's a gut shot for 100. That much.
Oh, but you hit it, it's gonna pay you big.
What if I have a heart and I'm betting ahead of, you don't know where you're at.
Yeah, I thought about that.
You call with a 4-5, you don't know where you're at. Then I don't know where you're at. It makes me harder for me to win my hand.
Button now has moved over to seat 2. We're going to look at a chip count here, Shirley. I'm getting word that this was about...
No more
Just a
showing
short time ago.
Yeah.
Eric has he's got a lot of chips there.
Unless
Yeah, he does. And he was from a must move, so he came into the table with 1,300.
chips.
Yeah.
Oh, not gonna get it this hand.
We got a $35 raise here out of seat 5. He's got ace king.
It wasn't my brother-in-law. He'd be in a lot of trouble with this thing.
And it looks like seat number 8 is going to call with king 9 of hearts. And seat 9 is called with queen 10 of diamonds. And here we go. We've got three-way action. It's about a $105 pot to the flop. 9, deuce 9. Andy's hit trip 9s at seat 8. Danny's going to continue to bet. He was the pre-flop raiser. He bet 60, about half the size of the pot.
Jacks, queens.
No, he gets 3s.
Oh, twos,
Pocket
twos,
3s.
twos,
Pocket
twos,
3s.
twos, six.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see what Andy does here with the king 9. Looks like he doesn't have that many chips left.
Mm-hmm.
He might have $150.
The other guy's not working tonight. What's his name?
Ronnie?
Little guy, yeah. Cool dude. Is that his name, Ronnie? Saw him in the tournament earlier.
I mean, at this point,
Puffing out over there.
You just
I don't know.
shove him in there.
I mean, that's what I would do.
That's what I would do.
Hope the guy hasn't. He's going to move all in because you might even get someone with ace king to call here, anyways. I mean, if it is 150, how much more is it here? Looks like maybe 100 more, Shirley, something like that. Yeah, it's like exactly
100
100
even.
more. And look at that, he makes the
He
call
calls.
with ace king. So there you go. And he is drawing really slim.
He's drawn
And-
dead
and
now.
It's over now. Ace king against king 9 with the flop 9 deuce 9. That is not the situation. Basically, he would need to have caught running aces.
Running
there, right?
aces or kings.
Yeah,
Kings would have, chopped it, right?
kings
Yeah.
would have chopped it, but
Uh-huh.
there's only 2 kings left in the deck, so not really looking good there after that flop.
Right.
So he quickly doubles through.
When you were filling out your
And again, I mean, like I said, when it's basically when you're that short, I mean, is it even worth it to just try to fiddle around with it? And the button has moved over to seat 3. Looks like we got pocket deuces there for Eric in seat 1. Couple of ace rags. It was interesting to see that when Barry Woods played on Friday, he had a little sticker that said, "No more ace rags," that he kept putting in the window cam.
Oh, good job.
So Eric brings it in here for 30 with pocket deuces. Dimitri calls with 5-4 of spades. And seat 5 is in there with 7-8 of spades. Let's see if Harry is going with the play any 2 theory. It looks like he's got king rag offsuit in seat 6. He's got king 6. Oh, he's
He
not going to play.
folds.
Andy's in there with king 10. And wow, ace is going to play with ace 4. So we got a $100 pot here going. Eric was the pre-flop raiser with deuces. And he flops a
Flops
set.
the set.
10-7 deuce. But look at Danny. He's going to bet right out here with a pair of sevens.
At 35.
He bets 35 into a $100 pot. Action's over to Andy, and Andy has top pair here with King
Andy
10.
might get himself in trouble because
Yeah.
he doesn't have that many chips.
Well, he's got now 300,
There's about
right?
300. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
300 in front of him. But I mean, he has a
It's a
pretty good kicker with his 10.
Yeah, it's a $135 pot, and he makes the call. Now, because there's a caller in between, might you pop it up here a little bit with your set. And he is going to raise.
Get 170.
He makes it 170. So he's basically raised the pot size. The pot was 170. He's made it 170 to go. So it's a $340 pot, and it's 170 to call. And I think this is a pretty easy decision here for Danny.
Yes.
Now the issue is Andy going to be able to get away from it?
Well, Eric's raise was so big, I think that Andy might be able to get away from it now.
Well, let's see. He's still thinking in seat 5. I don't really know what he's thinking about. I mean, he's really deep, and the guy in seat 1's really deep. Do you really want to commit all your money here in the middle pair?
I think this is all Hollywood stuff.
I mean, it'd be one thing if you put 35 in
really
and you
gonna
only have
play.
80 left or something like that. And now the real decision is going to be made.
135.
So it's 135 for Andy to call here, actually, because he made it 170 to go. And he is going to get away from it. There you go.
This time you might actually.
And Eric takes it down. It's nice to raise with the pocket twos and hits a set.
I thought maybe he had
I knew you had these.
So again, we are here live at the bike. For those of you that are joining us late, we're playing 300 to 500 no limit hold'em. The yellow chips are $5 chips. The purples are 25s. The blues are $1 chips. Blinds for this game are 5 and 5. Each stack is usually $100 of yellows.
Right.
Stack of purple would be 500.
I don't think we'll be seeing stacks of purple over here, though.
Probably not. Probably not. But you never know. This game can get pretty deep sometimes. Looks like we got an ace-queen here in seat 1.
Can we get a setup, please?
And he's going to make it, looks like 40 to go.
And Dimitri got rid of his ace rack quickly.
Ace-3, yeah.
Right.
Seat 5 is going to call with ace-jack. He is dominated. And seat 6, is, I believe, has king-jack. And from what we've seen him play so far, I wouldn't be surprised to see him call out of position. King-jack suited. 35 more. And he does call. So here we go. 3 ways. $120 pot to the flop. Well, Jack, 7 deuce, and boy, is Harry going to get in trouble here now. And both those guys are pretty deep, Ace Jack and King Jack.
At 100.
And Danny's going to lead here for 100. Remember, he led before and mucked his hand to a raise last hand. So let's see how Harry plays it.
Call.
He's going to
He just
call.
calls.
He calls. Now let's see if Eric gets away here from Ace Queen. He does. So it's now a $320 pot. And I think that these guys are just friends or something, Shirley. And again,
Yeah, they both checked it
they
on the
both
turn
have
and
checked.
river.
I think they're brother-in-law.
Are they?
Brother-in-law or something like that. Yeah. Well, again, I don't really like to see that in the game, but there's nothing really we can do about it.
No.
But it would have definitely been interesting to see what would have happened. And again, that's actually one of those situations where if I'm Eric in seat 1, I might ask to see their hands.
Yes. And I wouldn't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And that is actually one of the legitimate
That's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why that rule.
reasons, you know,
is
why
there.
that rule is there. But it would have been interesting to see that hand play out. Ace-Jack against King-Jack. We're going to get a setup here. Looks like a couple of people were saying that they were trying to watch you on play 3060 Omaha on PokerStars last night, but if you don't have the minimum buy-in, you can't chat, I don't think.
But you can watch it, though, right?
You can watch it, but
Oh,
you
okay.
can't say, like, hi,
So
Sherry.
someone said that on there? That they were
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
it?
And
How did I miss those?
this
Yeah,
was,
that game was
from
great.
yesterday.
Yes.
From
Oh.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Now, you've been giving some tips to Barry Woods to help him improve his game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was my my number one rule there.
Did he play like
quit
he
playing
played
ace rags?
Ace
Yeah.
rags a little too much.
Right.
I just think it's absolutely amazing that guy just gets involved with so many situations that have him needing to, force him into a situation to make gigantic calls with top pair.
And big,
It's amazing.
make
Or an
yeah,
overpair.
big decisions.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, or an overpair. And he usually will call, and he's made a lot of money by doing it, I have to say.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think I haven't seen as much as you have,
Yeah.
because you see him more often. But
Yeah.
I think he's made some great calls from what I've seen. So the few that he's made some tough calls. And
He's made some tough calls. I mean, the one hand where he got pretty lucky, one of the biggest hands on live in the
I
bike,
kinda,
he
right.
was behind.
Right. I don't know how that action played out at all. And I mean, it's it's easy when we're in here looking at the cards. I'm curious to see how it played out on camera. I'll have to go back and watch the archives on that one.
King, 9, king here on the flop. I believe that Eric brought it in for a slight raise, made it 30 to go, and the button called. It goes check, check here on the flop. And now 7-8 is picked up an open-ended straight draw. Well, this is... And C5 makes a call here. I was going to say, this is a time where you could really raise. And Danny backs into the top pair. I mean, it goes check, check on the flop. Now the guy who's the pre-flop raiser bets you on the turn. You could raise and see, and obviously if it comes over the top of you, you're going to have to let go of your hand. And what is it?
That's an option.
Yeah, and it looks like Eric has bet here, 125, and Danny calls. And actually, I had the action a little bit backwards. Eric actually bet into the turn with the open-ended straight draw, and Danny called with ace high. Then Eric made another bet on the river, and Danny had made a pair,
Okay.
and he made the best hand.
So you were saying that you could raise with the open and straight draw.
Yeah,
Okay, because I wasn't really thrilled with the raising with ace high, but
No, not at
Okay.
all. But I mean, at that point,
that's why I said, well,
yeah.
that's an option. but-
Well, I mean, you could be doing it to set up a play.
You
I
could-
thought
you
the guy
could
in
do.
seat 5 had 7-8,
Mhm.
and the board's paired. You can raise there with your draw, but it was actually the other way around. And Eric actually took the initiative to bet in with the open and the straight draw, and then he had to fire again on the river. And unfortunately for him, Danny made a pair at the end. Gus is going to come in here for a raise. Probably the first hand we've seen him play. He makes it 35 to go. He's got ace jack offsuit.
Different if I do it or if I have to call it,
Not that different.
Well,
And Harry's going to make a call here. He's got pocket 9s. And Andy's in there with pocket 5s. And look at ace. Doyle Brunson suited. He's in there.
That's pushing it.
So we got a $140 pot here.
Set of 5s for
And,
Andy.
and look at this. Gus hits his top pair. He's the pre-flop raiser.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see some fireworks here. I mean, not a bad flop for ace jack.
No.
He bets 100. The pot is now 220. It's 100 to call. Is Harry good enough to get away from this hand? Boy, is he in trouble if he gets involved. There's only one overcard. Not necessarily a horrible flop for pocket 9. Somebody might
Right.
bet in there with ace king. And if he makes a raise, I mean, some people would even raise here with 9s if he does.
To get
He's
information.
in horrible trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't check it.
Let's see if he's smart enough to get away from it here. This is not the easiest laydown in the world. Well, he's got a muck. And Andy, he's got about 250 in front of him. Let's see how he plays the set. It's a $100 call. $220 pot.
I raised 100.
And he's going to raise it. I like it, Shirley. He's going to make it 100 more.
100 more.
So it's 200 here, and it's 100 more for Gus. And at this point, I'm sure that Gus is probably going to push, right?
I would
mean,
think.
he's got maybe 200 in front of him there. He's got a couple purples on one of those stacks. The pot is now $320. Or excuse me, $420. It's 100 to call. 420, 100 to call. Andy only has about, I think, maybe 50 left. So,
Well, it looked like 100 to me, so I think it's 125 more.
okay, he's got 125 left. Andy does, and Gus actually has two. We're getting where he's got about 275. So it's a check raise here, the minimum to 100. And he's going to move all in.
Ooh.
Gus moves all in. Yep, and Andy immediately calls. We're going to have over a $500 pot here, folks. Ooh, the turn is an ace.
Either now or later.
Oh, and the river is a 3. And Andy's going to take it down there with a set of 5s. Doubles through once again. It's just kind of a bad break there for Gus.
Right.
I mean, again, in this restricted buy-in game, I think I make that same move. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was at least one thing to think about, and that was the fact that Seat 8 had bet enough money that he was pot committed, but not like his whole stack to where it looked like he was on a flush draw. So it looked like it represented a really strong hand, because you know if you come in over the top, he's going to call. So what would he do that with?
Right.
So, I mean, he might do that with Jack or kicker, or the same hand Ace Jack, but I don't think he would have played it like that with flush draw, and definitely with the set. So,
He's re-raising with only 100.
But like you said, he might have done it with King Jack or Queen
right,
Jack. Or
right.
something like
I
that.
think that I still would have came to the same conclusion as Gus did,
Yeah.
but you know, you at least have to think about that.
So we'll see how much Gus is going to rebuy here for. He's going to buy in the minimum. He's going to make it 300.
No matter what, the turn.
Hoping he goes away.
He's better off pushing, yeah.
Hoping he goes away.
Yeah, it's coming in no matter what. I knew
If that flop would have been 5-9, Jack.
And
Make a lot of money.
Pocket 9.
Button has now moved to seat 7. After this hand, I want to tell you an interesting thing, Shirley. I posted up on 2+2, and it's a gigantic thread. It's like absolutely exploded.
Really?
Yeah.
50, you can make couple of it go away.
Seat 1 here has bet $50 with pocket 9s.
It's all good.
And Harry's going to make the call here with Ace Jack offsuit. Big raises in this game. And seat 9 is going to call here with King 10 of diamonds. And here we go.
It's a lot better than Ted Deuce.
$150 pot. Eric's the original raiser. Queen Jack Deuce. Someone just flew across the table. And Eric is checked with pocket 9s. And now Harry's going to bet. Ace is open-ended here. There's 2 clubs on board. And Harry's bet 100. So let's see what... And Ace looks like he's going to call with the draw. Again, there's 2 flush. There's a 2 flush out there. And Eric shows Al his pocket 9s, and he's going to muck it.
Thank you.
So it's a $350 pot. The turn is a club. And now if you've got a red King 10, if you can represent a club, well, he chose not to bet in there, and the river's a 5.
Yeah, he was drawing really slim.
And
because
now
the
he's gonna
3
bet.
9s were out and 1 ace was out. He had a total of 4 out.
Now he bets 150. So the pot is now $500, and it's 150 to call. He checked you on the turn with Ace Jack. You checked behind him. Now he bets 150 here on the river. Was he trying to check raise you with the flush draw on the turn? I guess is the issue.
Yeah, when he made the flush on.
Yeah. But at least he hasn't totally given up here. But again, you know, if he's going to chase with a red King 10, could he have bet in on the turn there and taken it away too? But at least he's following up here on the river. I mean, I'd much rather see him do this than just check it on the river and lose.
And yeah, give up.
Yeah. It's a $150 bet. 500 in the pot.
I know you don't have a queen.
So Harry would have to call 150 to
He
win
says I know
500.
you don't have a queen, so.
You don't look like you would have a flush. You
look like Korean to me.
Doesn't look like a flush. You look like a Korean.
Koreans get flushes.
No.
You
2 pair, too much.
have King Jack?
And it's a tough spot here. And Harry asked him, do you have King Jack? It's really the only thing that he can beat
You have King Jack?
right now. Or a busted draw, which is exactly what Ace
You're
has.
going to show me if I call.
But it's almost like, you know, he hasn't shown down the 10 deuce, so how do I put somebody on King 10 offsuit here? I mean, who in their right mind would call the flop
Take
there
the
with
100
that?
back, I'll call you.
King
It
10
would go through
suited.
my head, you know? With 2 clubs out there.
Bart, you give people too much credit if you think people don't call with King 10
And
suited.
look at this, he's going to make the call. He makes the call, and he's going to take it down with Ace Jack. So he had a good read on him.
Yeah.
Nice call.
Makes the call.
Good read, man. Good read. You said you're going to show him.
He did say he was going to show
So that's
Yeah, he said,
unbelievable.
I'll show you if you put 150.
Now we know.
But anyways, getting back to, I had actually discussed with you a little bit about how, you know, the skins had separated from Party. And then I don't know if you were ever on the show, but I was having trouble finding my Empire affiliate.
Well, I knew, yeah. I knew you wanted to.
I was trying to find him. I couldn't find him anywhere. So I ended up eventually posting up on the 2+2 thread the affiliate forum. Where is this guy? Buster Stacks. Where is he? I haven't heard from him. And that started a little bit of a thread. And then he popped on the thread, him, and he said, basically, you guys are SOL, shit out of luck.
In the parking lot with the
And
lights
that I'm
out.
going to pocket the money.
Oh.
Basically, for October. Which has started this enormous affiliate thread and kind of a discussion about what are the ethics of an affiliate. Should you always search for someone who gives the best rate as an affiliate if you're not necessarily reputable? And I think that we've come to that conclusion now. Of course, this goes back to rake back issues and such. And actually, I guess to a little bit of the defense, he said that people who left Empire will not be getting their rake back, but people who continue to play on there would be. But that makes no difference to me, because you kind of have an agreement with someone going in. I don't have to continue
Well,
to
I
play
mean,
on their side.
obviously, he's not one to follow his agreements because it's illegal to offer rake back.
Wow.
So, I mean,
well, now
he-
you're opening a whole different can of
but
worms.
it is true. It's true. It's always has been illegal. Whether they do it or they don't do it, that's...
Paul was limped around here, 10-6-3, couple clubs.
That's why I tell
Andy
her,
in seat
don't
8's
ever
got
play
top pair
poker.
with King 10. And is Dimitri going to get involved here? But look at this, Eric.
Tell her,
He's going to bet out with the flush draw.
don't play with your heart.
He has bet here $45. Now, Al's got pocket threes. He's got a set. He's got bottom set here in seat 2. How is he going to play it? The $45 bet.
He doesn't have to worry about straight combinations, just the flush combinations.
He's going to raise. He makes it 125. And is Andy, again, he's got King 10 with top pair. In another situation where someone has flopped a set, is he going to get away from him? He's facing a bet and a raise. Over to David with pocket fives. See what Andy does here. He's got King 10. He's going to get rid of it. A nice laydown again. And Eric is fairly deep. He's going to have to call a big size raise here by Al.
How much is the raise?
I believe it was 125.
125 more? Oh, 80. The raise is
125
80.
straight, so 80
okay,
more.
80 more to call.
And the issue is I know Alan so well that I have to put him on a minimum of 2 pair. A minimum. And I look at that board and,
But $80 isn't a lot to call to hit your flush.
well, he's going to call. Well, now the issue is that you're probably only going to be able to see one card. Let's see what happens here on the turn. It's an 8. Pot's about $330. Oh, and look at this. Eric's reaching for chips. Is he going to put one of those Jive Dadson-esque stop bets here on the turn? Well, now if you're Al.
You got to move all in.
Yeah.
It's getting too coordinated now.
I mean, the only thing that really could have killed you there is if the guy had 7-9, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but like I said, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, straight draws really weren't a possibility. I don't think someone would have played it like that if they had a gut shot.
So what has happened here? It's a $150 bet here by Eric.
Unless they had a gut shot club draw.
Pot is now about $500. I mean, if you're Al, like you said, maybe the guy had 7-9 of clubs. Or he just bet in and got lucky with 7-9. but it's a $150 bet. It's obviously kind of one of those blocker bets, and Al is going to move all in. And I got to tell you, that's what I would have done at this point as well.
385.
He's got 385. So oh, look at this, and Eric immediately folds. I thought he was going to do a little bit of math. I mean, the pot at that point would have been about $880. Would have been
200 and something. Like 220 to call.
yeah, 220 to call. He would have been getting about 4 to 1 on his money. Would have been interesting. With one card to come, probably not.
Depends on how many people. He's got a copy. Depends on how many people.
You can't put them on flush. Give them flush. Guarantee. Put it on.
And I see a comment here on 2+2 by KevMath, and I was explaining to you before the show tonight that
John made a bad lay
John
down.
Vorhaus was on the show and made what amounted to be a laydown that just made absolutely no sense. And of course, David and I were relentless.
Really?
And it seemed like a lot of people agree with us. He basically ended up folding top 2 pair on the river when he had 200 left, and there was about 850 in the pot.
Wow.
And it was against Nicole, and Nicole only had a weak ace.
Well, yeah, well, Nicole's a pretty strong player, though, you know, but
The way the
still.
hand played out,
Yeah, I mean, it all
Nicole
depends on how
check-raised him on the turn. If he thought that he was up against what in essence had to be King-Jack to beat his hand, then he should have laid it down on the turn. I mean,
Right.
there was nothing...
So he made a call on the turn, and then on the river when it went unchanged, the board went unchanged,
Right.
then he laid it down. Oh, yeah, that's
Right,
horrible.
right. Got it. Danny's going to raise here to 50 with ace-king. Dimitri's got a little suited ace there. He's going to muck it. Gus has got 4-5 offsuit. He mucks. And basically, I don't exactly remember what the cards were on the flop, but basically, I know there were 2 hearts on the flop, and it was coordinated board. I think it was ace, queen, rag, I believe. Okay?
Okay.
And there was a bet by someone in front of Nicole, and Nicole just called. And I believe that Vorhaus raised it with ace-10. Nicole called. The turn was a 10. Nicole check-raised him the minimum on the turn.
Okay.
And then bet 200 pretty much all in on the river. And we were speculating that any hand that probably Nicole had that had beaten Vorhaus, she would have raised with on the flop. Like, if you put her on a set, Nicole's not going to call in
Well, what
between.
about Jack King?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. King Jack was the only hand, but at that
Right.
point, you're beat on the turn.
And yeah, and if you're
So-
beat and you
Right, that's what I'm
then you
saying.
lay the hand down,
Yeah.
or if you call thinking your hand's good, you call thinking your
Exactly.
hand's good on the river.
Right, right.
Nothing changes.
That's exactly what the point, the reason why we thought the hand played out badly.
Right. That makes sense.
We get a raise here, and we have a re-raise. Ace has re-raised Gus. Gus raised under the gun with Jack-8, and Ace has re-raised to 75 with Ace-Jack, and Gus has a little smile on his
Got the
face.
protector shield on.
Ace is going to take it down there
Got
with
the
a re-raise.
protector
Kidding.
shield on.
Pocket threes are good.
Ace queen suited. He said, enough is enough. I'm
Thanks for
going
the
in.
tip.
But anyways, I just thought it was interesting. I was looking for somebody to tell me what happened to this guy. And all of a sudden, it just exploded into this gigantic threat on 2+2.
Yeah.
And,
No, you.
and you're quick to point out that all that activity is illegal anyway. So.
Yeah. Sorry, Bart. You know, but I've kept my mouth shut for the last 2, but I just have to throw that in there. Last 2 programs.
But you know where I'm coming from, though, right? If I sign an agreement with someone, then they're going to steal my money the first week. Yeah, honor among thieves. There you go.
Be drawing to a 2-outer.
That's why I get out there.
Button here is in seat 2. It's been limped around. And we're going to take this flop. Looks like 6 ways. Here we go.
I got it.
Jack
Yeah, you got the
10
seven.
7.
I'm going to check my 8-9.
Gotta go see a doctor then. We got it.
And it doesn't look like anyone has a piece of this. Well, we got a couple bottom pairs.
Didn't you say poker then, if honest?
And Ace has definitely played an interesting combination of pre-flop hands.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
Queen rag
Well,
suited.
I think it's anything suited. He's played 10 deuce suited. King 10 suited, Queen deuce suited.
Turn is a 5 here.
Where?
Again, they're on a...
Nobody wants to take a shot at it.
Well, now Danny's going to bet.
Eight,
Now
nine,
he-
good.
now
I
he-
bet.
And it looks like
Now
he has the
thinks
best
he has
hand.
8-9.
Bet
You know what he
20.
does?
No, his 8-9 was
You know
good.
what he does? You want me to tell you what he does?
Maybe somebody asked.
He goes like this,
And his
He puts
kicker
his
actually
thumb,
plays
and he
against
doesn't
Karen.
look, and then he goes like this, and then he bets.
And I think he's going to take it down here.
I laid the best hand down. 7-4 offsuit.
No, you didn't. His kicker played, but chances are it probably would have been a chop
Yeah.
pot at the end.
7-4 offsuit. I laid it
No,
down.
suit is my favorite.
Well, any two suited, huh?
Was,
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
7-4 diamond.
Of course, there are value in suited connectors and no limit.
Well,
but-
connectors. 10 deuce doesn't quite
Well,
do it.
Queen deuce?
Yeah, it doesn't quite do it. Unless you're playing some crazy form of poker where it goes queen, king, ace, deuce, 3. Makes it straight. You can do the... There's got to be a game like that, isn't there?
I don't think there's any form. Is there any form of poker where you can actually make a wraparound straight higher than the king? I'm not sure.
It made me feel good
Like
about
queen,
the
king,
8-9.
ace, deuce, 3?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably one of those fun games I would imagine you play in a home game.
Yeah. We got a raise here by seat 6. He's got king, jack suited. Makes it 35 to go. And Dimitri
Moves in.
moves in.
He well,
He just wants to
he's
show
not
us one
showing,
ace.
but I saw it.
I'm switching six.
He has ace of spades, 9 of diamonds.
Oh, okay. He's got ace 9, huh?
How much is that?
$220.
And how much is it?
I think he said 120.
120?
But well, that's what I 220.
220? Wow. Well, this is a gamble, huh?
But he hasn't played any hands,
Yeah.
so he's just taking a shot at this
When they
pot.
both look the same, they're both
This is
aces,
my
they look
boy.
the same, you know.
Well, it was a $35 raise, so it looks like it's another
Can I open my cards
190.
and then think about it?
Yeah, he
The
can.
same, all he showed you was one.
Harry's asking if he can open his cards.
You know what? You look pretty nervous.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you got a
very
small
nervous.
pair.
Please don't call me. Please don't call me. Oh my God, please call me.
Give me your phone number, he'll call you tomorrow about it.
Close your eyes in a minute. Please call me.
Yeah, so you know. That's what you do.
Words speak louder than.
So it's about 180 left to call. He only has 35 invested in there.
How much?
5% back.
If he knew what Dimitri
You
had,
may get your wish, you know?
I don't. I mean, Dimitri's what, about a 60-40 favorite here,
Right.
something like that. He only has 35 invested.
If he knew,
Yeah.
he's supposed to fold.
But I mean, there's so many things that can beat King Jack here. You can
Right.
be dominated.
See, it's $12 back.
I feel like
I mean, you're only hoping that maybe he's got pocket 10s or pocket 9s or pocket 8s, and you want to raise.
But I don't well.
You're still.
I mean, if you had ace jack or ace king, you'd be in big
What
trouble.
are we waiting for? I don't know.
You call it with this? You call it with this?
Seat 9 would call. It's suited.
You have no cards, you could say.
Still
You know,
thinking
I may
about it.
get this and beat you.
Jack or spades?
No. Just the jack.
Okay, flop it then.
This is enough. If I pair the board up with
Boy,
this,
what a
I got you.
decision. I don't.
I don't know.
Again,
It
this is
doesn't seem
sometimes
that
what
difficult.
irritates me with some no limit
This
games.
is an unnecessary card.
Okay, you know what? Then mark the king, play only Jack.
If I do that, would you give me 25% back?
Come on, guys. Let's go.
And then I play one card.
Hey, come on, bro.
He's gonna fold.
You pick one card, sure.
You pick one card, sure.
They're both the same, I told you.
No, they're not.
They're both the same. They're both the same. That's why he put them on top of each other.
Ace 9.
But I gotta get my
And Dimitri adds a little bit to his stack there.
Right.
I gotta figure you out before I think if I'm gonna fold.
Have you ever played with Dimitri?
You know why I play this game?
I have.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he is.
Every year when
He,
I fill out my tax form, I claim losses.
His
right?
talk and stuff like that, it just
I got
kind
a
of
letter
throws
from
you a little
IRS.
bit.
They say,
Right.
they
You
see
do
play
lose
the
all the
game.
time.
No, they say the way you play, we think you should play more next year.
Listen, next time you lose with pocket
Character,
aces,
for
Yes, he
sure.
is.
Claim more losses.
Definitely
I'll
character.
email you, okay? Next time you lose with pocket aces,
Claim more
I'll
losses.
record
I
it,
like
I'll
that.
email you, and you take
We believe you now.
Take it to your account. You can take it to your
I
account.
cannot afford internet service.
Put it in the
The
computer.
button is moved over here to seat 4.
He keeps the table laughing.
Yes, he does. King 6 offsuit here for Gus. He's not going to play. And I think the two brothers, in-laws, are going to chop.
I think.
Well, yeah, I got to tell you, being a brother-in-law, it's got to be an interesting relationship. I don't know if it's... I'm an only child. But it's like, So my sister is your wife?
Right.
Isn't that kind of...
Thousands every day.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go lightly on him, right? I mean,
Right.
Come on.
He's back to the family.
I'd be raising his ass every time. It's just a very interesting situation.
See, I don't have a brother,
Man, I
so
wanna
I don't
call
have a
you.
sister-in-law. I have a
I
sister
love busting aces.
and my brother-in-law. Oh, yeah.
Right, but
I would
that's
take every
it's
dime
different.
I could get.
Yeah, well,
Jerk.
but your brother-in-law is just your sister's
Well, he's not my
husband.
brother-in-law anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
right. So
What an
it's
idiot.
different. But you know what I'm saying, right? Especially with guys.
Yeah.
Married to my sister?
Everybody try to be the best hand.
You got a raise here by seat 1,
I have
pocket
you on ace
9s.
two suited.
You have the best hand here.
And Al's going to call with pocket 5s.
It's still best.
It's a $40 raise, and Al can do this because I think that he is deep in seat 2, and Eric is also deep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Call.
You're leading by a little bit.
I got you there.
and
bud.
Harry's going to call with Jack 9.
You thought I was going to raise.
Now let's see if David, who has not played a hand the entire night, plays this hand. You wouldn't think so with Ace 10.
You're right. He hasn't played a hand.
No, he hasn't.
He mucks this one too.
And he mucks it. But look at Ace. He's in there with Ace Deuce suited.
Suited.
Suited. So here we go. We've got 4-way action. It's about a $160 pot. And Al has hit a set of 5s again. And can Harry get away from top pair now? And not a bad flop
Alan
for
might have a
pocket
good
nines.
shot at getting some chips here.
Harry's going to bet. He bets 100. 2 sets for Al. What about pocket 9s now? What is Eric going to do? The pot is now about 260. It's 100 to call. Again, not that bad of a flop for pocket 9s. And Al is in a great spot again in seat 2. And again, some people would raise here. Well,
yeah,
he's going to
Alan
get
can't
he's gonna
believe
get
his
away.
luck. He's hit 2 sets in one
And he's
night.
going to raise it. I think he made it 200. I believe it's 200.
200 more. 125.
So he's actually made it 225 straight. So it's 125 more.
Protection with you.
The pot now is about $500. And it's 125 for Harry to call. It's about a $500 pot. He doesn't have the best kicker here.
You don't have a jack.
It'll be a while, guys.
I know that, though.
I mean, it's pretty easy to lay down, I think, when Al does this.
Well, you know,
to me. Because the thing
to a
with-
lot of people, yeah, but remember, Harry made that great call earlier when he had second pair.
No, I understand, but playing the player, Al, a
Yeah.
lot of times, like with something like King Jack, he'll just call. We see it all the time. If I were to bet, he would call. Sometimes we'd get on his game a little bit about being too passive. So when he raises,
But do you think that Harry's familiar with Alan?
I'm
I'm
not
sure. I'm sure not as familiar as you are, or I am.
They don't make it anymore.
I'm just saying what I would see if I was at that table. I would know that this is what this represents from Al. And again, Harry might not be privy to this information. I've seen Al play for probably at least 50 hours
Time, by
now.
the way.
Yeah, it's okay. Every minute you take, you multiply by 8
Bet 100,
players.
it's only another 125.
But I think it's fair to bring that to this conversation, just like when Barry Greenstein comes in and talks about people that he knows too
Okay, take the
at the
people
table.
online, take
You know,
care
how
Oh,
many
yeah,
times he's
yeah.
seen.
Break. Dinner.
But again, I don't, like you said, I don't know if Harry's really familiar with Al or not.
in the refrigerator.
Yeah, hold them or fold them moment.
But again, he just takes so long
He
with his
does.
decisions.
He mucks it.
And he makes them up.
It means to scare your customer, but
Wow. You didn't do.
And Al does not show. Well, look at that. I mean, Al took some of his jackpot winnings from Friday night, went to Armani Exchange.
No, he had you. I'm telling you.
It's like DNK,
Donna- yeah.
Donna Karen jeans.
What do you
I'm
have?
gonna tell you.
Did he show you?
No.
You always had that kind of.
That's nice to see somebody that I know hit a jackpot.
Oh yeah. Or it was nice to see someone you know dressing nice.
Remember, you guys. There's no secrets here.
Usually not the
Not
best.
wear the same T-shirt,
Not the- yeah,
Banana
oh.
Republic T-shirt every day. Just kidding, Bart.
I'll promote the $14.95.
This one's my gray one.
I know you have 10 of them. I can't smell you when you're sitting next to me, so you're all right.
Well, then there's always a big controversy of whether Diablo from Omega Plumbing, who plays on the show a lot, if he actually wears the same shirt. I've heard two different stories.
I would imagine he has a lot of them.
I would imagine so, too.
I would hope so.
Harry's going to raise here. Harry raises here with Queen 10. And got two callers, so we got three-way action here. Ace, King 8 on the flop. And Danny's hit top pair, and he's going to bet. That's 50.
Yeah, see, if you're sitting in seat 6's spot, you know if you call that 50 and someone mucks behind you, you've got 2 shots to hit your gut shot.
Oh, just because you're just going to check it down, you mean? Yeah.
Not going to get paid off if you hit it, but...
Yeah, then it just becomes an equation of straight odds, right?
Right.
You're not going to get any more money. You're going to see 2.
Yeah. You showed the ace.
Don't break the rules. Not on camera, please. Of course, I show him.
So Harry's representing Gonzaga. Isn't that a college up in the Bay Area? One of those Northern California schools?
I've heard of it. I don't...
Gonzaga? San Francisco,
They used to have
San
a
Jose
good
area.
basketball team, didn't they?
They do have it. Actually, they've
They still
actually
do?
really improved their basketball team. Oh, that's right. Gonzaga's actually in Washington State. What am I thinking? That's right. No, actually, they used to play, you know, kind of in a small conference, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and they used to be about a 15 seed going into the tournament, and then to always make the final 8. And now they've actually recruited, and they're really seeded high now each year. And for
Yeah, I
the
remember
first
in
time,
those, 64 pools.
yeah,
You know how you
Pools.
do the March Madness pools?
right.
You always used to go for Gonzaga.
Yeah,
They were your long
especially
shot.
if you could get bonus points for upsetting seeds
Uh-huh.
that were higher than you. So finally, David Kelsey raises with Ace Jack, and no one is going to get involved. Well, would you get involved with the guy that hasn't played a hand in
No.
an hour? Takes it down. He is one of the players that has come here especially for this game. So I don't know if he's one of the Barry Woods crew, or if he's a 2+2, or what.
Or just a light at the bike viewer.
I have a red light on. Red light.
Harley Davidson shirt. You ever get into riding motorcycles? My parents are bikers. Did I ever say that?
No.
Yeah. My mother rides a Harley. She rides a 94 Heritage Softail. My dad has a Fat Boy. When my mother first started beginning to ride a motorcycle, you can't really take a Harley out for the first time. You usually buy this little 250cc little rice burner. And she crashed. Hit her face on a telephone pole.
Wow.
She wears her scar with pride now. Big scar on her cheek.
Not today. He's in a good mood today.
No tattoos, though.
I don't think if I can remember correctly, I don't think I've ever been on a Harley.
Really?
My
You're
uncle
into
had a
Japanese
couple.
bikes?
You know, when I was in college, one of my best friends, he had one of those. I don't know,
Rice
one of
burners?
those really fast bikes. And I used to jump on the back of that a lot. And what a rush.
Crotch
Let me tell
rockets?
you. That was a rush.
We got a raise here
Why do you call them rice burn? Oh,
by seat 3.
that's horrible.
Yeah, that's a common term used. I didn't just come up with that one. King Queen here, seat 3. Seat 7 is called with 6-9 of clubs. The button's in with 7-5 of clubs. And seat 1, Eric, he's with Ace King of clubs. So clubs are pretty represented here in this hand.
I got it.
Ace, Queen, Jack. Dimitri was the raiser. But look at this. Eric bets right away. Early position. Bets 50. Let's see if Dimitri gets involved.
Sounds like a good bet to me.
He's going to call. He's got a straight draw. If a 10 came off, him and Eric would both chop the pot. Action now is over to Harry, and again, don't really know what he's thinking about. Andy's going to fold. And we're going to see a turn card. It's a 9 of diamonds. 3 diamonds on board now. Can Dimitri possibly represent a flush here?
How much? 200? No.
Eric's going to bet 100. Well, I guess Dimitri probably isn't that deep where you could probably get a guy off of an ace here. $100 bet. And he is drawing extremely slim.
Only 100?
Let's see what he does. Again, like we said, Dimitri's a pretty smart player.
All right.
He's going to let it go. Lay down.
That was a weak bet.
So I know last week they had a jackpot in the 2040 or 3060 game.
In the
I
limit
guess,
games?
yeah.
Well,
I guess that
yeah, after the broadcast on Friday, Mo actually had taken a beating in that game. Through the hands of Jesus, actually. He had given him a beating. Jesus, the player. Beat him out of like 3 pots and several $1000s. And he actually won the big end of a jackpot about a half an hour after the show concluded.
Did he?
Yeah.
He checked how bad.
That's nice.
Yes, it was. Very nice. Seat 6 has got pocket jacks. Got an ace 10 to his right, limped in. He's going to raise. It's Harry. Makes it 45 to go. Now, David Kelsey's got king jack of hearts. Let's see how tight he is. He's going to call. And the button has a weak ace. Well, ace is going to muck ace 3 there at seat 9.
Wasn't suited, was it?
No. But ace 10 of diamonds is in there from seat 5. We've got a $135 pot. And it comes 6-6-9. Pretty good flop for pocket jacks.
Check.
See how much he bets here.
That is 200.
It's like 200. He's going to overbet the pot. Not a great flop for king jack of hearts.
No.
And Danny folds.
You know,
and
someone got me with that overbet of the pot yesterday in the double shootout.
thinking that they were betting too much.
Well, yeah, well, what happened was flop was queen high, and I had ace queen, and I overbet the pot, thinking he would think I was stealing. So when he moved in, I called so fast. I mean, I overbet the pot. The pot was like 150. I bet 300. He moved in for, 1,500. The tournament had just pretty much started. And I was thinking he thought that,
Right.
I was just bluffing, and I instantly called, and he had a set. So we both did the same thing to each other. I was just on the crap end of it. Got knocked out. It's probably, if I wasn't going to win the whole thing, it was a good thing because I ended up playing to Omaha.
Those situations I sometimes would consider them overhead, especially in limit hold'em. When you hit top pair with your ace and someone hits a set, it's just one of those things that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Really difficult to get away from.
Forever. Human rain to left.
And Harry's going to raise here again. He's got queen jack of spades. Makes it 30 to go.
Okay, I'll keep them forever. It should have been like that. Turn should have been coming out already.
Andy's going to call here with ace 10 of clubs. Dimitri's in the blind here with deuce 6. I'm not sure if he knows the action's on him.
Now you see how it feels when the action is on you. Letting you know.
Oh, he's letting he's letting
delaying
seat 6
intentionally.
know.
Yeah.
He said, I'm letting you know what it's like when the action's on.
Yeah.
Quick, see.
King 5-4 here, rainbow. And Harry checks. Andy's going to check right behind him. Turn comes off 7 of clubs. And now Harry bets. He bets 20. Kind of a weak bet. Andy's got a flush draw. He's just going to call. And the river's a club, and he's made the nut flush. Seat 8. And Harry's going to bet here again.
That is 50.
$50 bet. This really brings up an interesting situation, I think. If we can keep the board up after this hand, which probably is going to go raise fold. He is going to raise. makes it 100 more to go. If you're up against a player who's pretty much bet every single flop after he's raised, do you might think that you're actually going to get in trouble with this board if a guy might have pocket kings, and how do you play it on the river? If he bets like 100 or 150, would you ever just call with a nut flush here, thinking that if you raised, you're not going to get a call if you really put him on either extremely weak or extremely strong, nothing in between? I mean, he checked the flop, he bet extremely weak on the turn, and he bet pretty weak on the river.
Right.
He likes that too. He likes that too, though.
I mean, obviously in this situation it doesn't matter. But sometimes, you know, there's articles that always float around about dangerous river raises in no limit hold'em just because of the fact that obviously you can always raise the limit because it's just one extra bet. But what happens if you're both deep and you make a raise and somebody moves over the top
for
of
another
you?
raise.
But again, I mean, with a nut flush, I'm almost answering my own question and thinking that you've got to raise at least for value one time and maybe hope the guy. But I'm just saying, like, what would you get called by there?
Yeah, well, he didn't check he didn't bet the flop,
Right.
so it's really unlikely that he had a king. Well,
Right.
it was really unlikely he had any of it because he put up a $20 bet when a 7 came.
Right.
You know,
Well,
if a jack came, you
that's
might
why I
think
was
he has
saying
a jack.
he either has nothing or pocket kings. You put
Right.
him on two range of hands.
Right.
But anyways, we got another chip count here. And
Eric has taken a bite to his stack.
And Alan is up in the lead now.
Well, yeah, it's kind of easy when you get 2 sets.
It is.
Please let me wake up with something.
Harry's gonna bring one. C5 actually brought this one in. Harry calls.
35, right?
Danny's got pocket 8s. Harry's got king jack suited again in seat 6. We've got a lot of callers here. Ace 10 for ace in seat 9. Dimitri's in there with ace jack. And it looks like Gus wants to play here with 5. Actually, Dimitri's got a
Dimitri has jack
suited.
6. He must be in the blind.
Al's got an ace jack.
Oh, wait, it was raised.
Yeah, it was raised.
Wow.
So we've got
Dimitri's flipping.
6-way action here. I want to say it's about a $200 pot. Seat 5 is the raiser. Queen, 3 deuce. And Dimitri has a flush draw, and he moves all in.
And he's lucky nobody has a queen here. He might pick up this pot.
Yeah, 155 bucks.
155.
Rebuy.
$155 here. So it's a $355 pot. It's easier to call. The action's on Danny here. I'm sure it would probably make it easier for him to call if he was heads up against Dimitri here with no one behind him. But he's got 1, 2, 3 people behind him. He's got 3 people behind him. He can't beat the queen.
Yeah, almost.
And like you said, if he mucks, no one really else has anything.
I said, don't tease me. I'm out.
And there you go. He's going to take it down with the semi-bluff. And he shows it to Al.
He showed me jack, okay? I show him jack too. Jack queen. That's it.
He says Jack Queen.
And you beat me.
No, I'm not. Cancel the rebuy.
One more flush.
So anyways, I don't know the answer to your earlier question, if there's any form of fun home game poker where you can play a wrap straight, queen, king, ace, deuce, 3.
Yeah, well, someone. There's a little couple kidding around posters here.
It was a joke.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Nobody even say nothing.
I actually bought a book of really fun home poker games
Really?
to give. Yeah, I bought a couple of them for gifts. A couple of my friends, that's all they do, you know. They like to play a variety of games, and I thought that would be a nice little gift.
Well, this is interesting. Harry brought this one in here for a raise to 15. Seat 7 called with pocket 10. Seat 8 called with king 5. And seat 9 is re-raised with 6-5 of spades for 65. Now, seat 7, you know, he's got a pretty good hand. I don't know if Harry wants to take a bet, 3 callers, and a re-raise in there with pocket 7s. But it looks like he wants to call.
Cheaper that way.
Boys in Texas are making some money.
Well, he's still
I only
thinking.
put 20 instead of putting 50.
Big bucks right now.
just got a new card too.
And he does make the call. Now let's see what David Kelsey does here.
$55. Like, what? I'm doing every 2 days.
Looks like he's going to make the call as well. He makes the call. Andy's out of there with King 8. Now we've got three-way action.
We got an SUV.
It's about a $235 pot.
45 has got.
Ace was the original re-raiser. He's got the lead, the betting lead on the flop. 9-9
The
deuce.
problem is I always put my
Couple
debit card in there,
clubs.
and for some reason it goes.
And let's see how Kelsey plays this. He's going to check with the overpair.
I don't know why.
And Ace bets
Maybe your bank.
a 105 all in. And, you know,
Gas?
it's going to say if Harry folds, it's an easy call for Dave, sure.
You know what? That's
I would think so.
But if Harry calls, what do you do if you're Dave?
machine one time and
Do you raise? Do you fold? Do you call? Do you build a side pot?
And then filled up on it.
You know,
Yeah, that's a tough spot.
But maybe, but B of A, they credited me back the money.
$105 bet here,
I was too.
and I think Harry's going to call.
I've been with them for years.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
For 12 years, I stopped.
They're the only one gift station make money.
and he makes the call now. So the pot now is about $440. It's 105 for David Kelsey to call, and he's played tight all night. And you're almost like, well, what is this guy to my right calling with? I'm not really that afraid of Ace there in seat 9. Well, he's got to make the
just
call.
calls.
He makes the call, and he doesn't have that many chips left.
Everybody's coming in.
But if you think the guy might be on flush, like a flush draw on overcards to my right, you really do need to bet the side pot. You can't give him a free ride
Right.
there. The turn is an 8.
Look at that. That's a
Yeah,
huge
flush draw
turn card
Ace.
for Ace.
And it,
Flush turn.
and
Right.
it goes check, check, and the river is an 8.
I got counterfeited.
I got to be honest with you.
They didn't get me.
Yeah, it went check, check. Pocket tens is going to take the whole thing down for $500, but I think that seat 7 made a big mistake there. How can you not bet on the side if the guy checks to you on the turn?
He needed a 7.
On the side.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. I think it's just inherently letting in some free cards.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
He doesn't know
I mean, who is really trying to slow player make a check raise there in the side pot? That's not a guy from up front really wouldn't do that. He wouldn't want to give you a free ride on a draw. So if he had a 9, well, then he would probably bet on the side there
Right.
on the turn.
On the
So
turn.
once he checks, you got to think you're on the lead, and you can't
best
let him,
hand.
you can't let him scrape off another card there. But anyways, he ended up winning the hand. So. And I don't think at that point that Harry would have called a bet on the side. I mean,
On the turn?
on the turn, yeah.
I don't know about that.
But
I think he might have.
well,
I think he thought he had the best hand. He said he got counterfeited on the river when it paired the 8. Then he
Well-
got only a 7 high.
but he is called on the flop. He doesn't know what seat 7's going to do. Once he overcalls, and again, like you checked him on the turn, now he bets the turn. I just don't see what 7s can beat on a deuce 9-9-8 board here. Because he's just, why would he bluff into a dry pot? Remember, on the side,
Right.
there's no money. So. So Ace is going to play 500 behind here in seat 9. And he raised it up, I believe, to 50 with King 10 offsuit. He doesn't have any chips now, but he's made it 50 to go, and he's 500 behind.
3 to 5 is the deal.
And Danny and
So
Harry
they'll
are
put the chips in front of him, and that's
Right.
what he owes.
$150 pot. Jack 8 deuce. And Harry checks the ace jack.
That's 50. Sit 9 bets.
Ace is going to bet 50 here. Danny's out of there. Let's see what Harry does. He makes the call. Pot is now $250. Turn is a 7. Now gives Ace a straight draw.
Bet is 100.
And now he bets 100.
All in.
And Barry check raises them all in.
Harry? There you go.
Seat 6, Harry check raises
Right.
them all in.
Yeah, he said all in.
He didn't have his chips there, and he's lost a lot
I
of
was
them.
wondering to see if Ace would take the free card there on the turn. I mean, what kind of draw is the guy on that type of flop?
You got to have a forward motion.
Not all that connected.
It's all in. Sit 6 is all
Jack
in.
8 deuce.
That way they know who the captains are.
The pot is now 400 plus the all-in, so it would be 700 and probably, or about 750, 300 to call.
Waterfall. Then not dirty my hat. I just got this hat. I like it.
What happened? They didn't have DK and Rice head or what?
Go find DK and white hat. You're like mixing that.
And I don't know what Ace is thinking here. He does have an overcard that would be good, and it looks like he folds.
They had DK and white hat.
And again, we're always privy to the information because we can see the cards there, but I have to say that, you know, obviously you follow up with the bet on the flop, but if I had King 10 and that guy called me once, I'd check
On the turn,
there.
I'd take a free card.
Yeah.
When you pick up a draw, you take the free card. I mean, if you
Right, it's
still have
almost like-
nothing, well,
Right,
you know,
exactly.
you might try to fire that
It's
second
almost
bullet
like
into the
it's
pot.
almost if your hand strengthens in terms of picking up a draw.
Right.
It's almost sometimes when you pick up the nut flush draw, you don't necessarily want to bet the turn because you don't want to get knocked out of the pot by a check raise.
Right.
You know. I mean, you could play it other ways as a semi-bluff as well, but on that type of board, obviously you got to look at the texture of the flop. I mean, Jack 8 deuce. You almost have to think the guy has at least something that's beating you now, right?
Right.
Unless he's chasing you with what, 9,
9,
10?
10.
Yeah. Pot is limped around. Button is in seat 5. King, queen, 3, couple spades. Doesn't look like that hit anybody. And looks like it's been checked to seat 4.
I just need to buy a new TV and a laptop.
And Danny's going to bet here. He actually has bottom pair, which looks to be the best hand. And I believe the action is on seat 7 here with 6-9. He's going to muck. And I think Danny's going to take it down there with a pair of threes. I've seen Gus around a lot. I haven't really had a chance to play with him. Have you played with him before in seat 4?
Yes, I have.
And how would you characterize his play?
Pretty tight. I
Pretty
mean,
tight?
he doesn't play a lot of hands. So I don't think we've really seen him play a lot of hands.
No, we haven't.
Ace Jack, he messed around earlier with Jack 8, but laid it down to a re-raise. Alan's a pretty tight player.
I'm gonna get it. Green is greener.
So I think that some people are watching the World Series of Poker tonight on TV. And actually, a programming note, well, my programming note, tomorrow night on the Travel Channel on WPT, it's actually Ladies Night 3. At the
Oh,
Bicycle
well, thank you
Casino.
for letting me
So,
know that.
You
I
can,
want to watch that.
Check that show out. I won't ruin it for everyone if you don't know who's the winner, but I actually switched off with...
Who doesn't know who the winner is? Come on. We all know who the winner is.
I switched off with Linda Johnson on the floor, so... Take a peek at that. I know my parents will be TiVoing it. Pretty quick. I mean, we only filmed that a couple months ago.
I was wondering when that was going to come
Yeah.
out. The ladies event usually comes out faster than the whole series.
Now, David here is going to raise with ace-3 of clubs. He's trying to pick up the limps. Maybe use that tight image. But Danny's going to call him with 10-7 suited. Harry's got 9-4 of clubs. He had limped in on the button.
Ace.
No, I don't want ace.
Oh, you just want that?
And we've got heads up here. About an $80 pot. Queen 8-3. David actually has the best hand. But he checks.
No, I just put the 200.
And
He
Danny's
gave
going to
that
bet.
lead away.
Yeah, he's going to bet. He bets $50.
Oh, wow.
I tried it once.
Looks like he's going to put in the raise. No, he's not.
No, he's just looking like he's going to call. I know what you're thinking. He was holding that big stack.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oh, now he's hit trip threes.
Now he has a no-brainer here.
This guy's got 10 grand.
And now how do you play it?
$20 again, right?
Yeah, 10, 20.
He's actually going to come out and bet. He bets 150. Maybe he's hoping the guy that actually caught something when he bet the flop. So a check call on the flop and bet the turn, which always seems a little bit fishy. And sometimes people might think, well, maybe I'm just going to put a move on him. Well, this is not the time for Danny to put a move. If he did, he'd be in big trouble. He is drawing dead.
3 rounds later.
And he's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm really puzzled by the way David played that. I don't like the way he played that at all. I mean, you know, you want to pick up the blinds there. That's fine. It didn't work. You know, you got to give it a shot on the flop. You keep the lead until someone takes it from you. Don't just hand it over.
Especially if you hit.
But then
a pair
when the
as
guy
well.
bet and he was going to put in a check raise, I thought, oh wow, he's going to play it, you know,
Right.
even better. And then he just calls and then gets lucky on the turn. And not lucky. I mean, he had the best hand, but lucky in the fact that now he knows he has the best hand.
Well, I was going to say, if he's going to play it like that, and I never endorse slow playing, maybe you check it actually one more time on the turn. With the ace-3, I would not have played the hand like that.
No.
I'm just saying it was a little bit unorthodox.
So last week's World Series of Poker I recorded, and I'm a little disappointed. I watched about half of it, and then it got bumped off my TiVo.
Oh,
So
got to get
I
one of
fell
those
asleep.
100-hour TiVos.
Yeah, well, I have, what do I have? I have a lot. I think I have like 30, 40 hours.
Dimitri raised here with ace-10, minute 25 to go, and he's hit top pair. Ace is hit second pair. And look at that, Dimitri does not bet on the ace. And ace checks again with the 9. A lot of people would bet there with the 9. And Dimitri bets here.
60.
Bets 60. And is Danny going to make a move here? He's reaching for chips. I don't really know if this is the time to make a move, because if he had a jack, wouldn't he have bet on the flop in position if Dimitri checked it to him? And Dimitri checked, and he's going to lay it down. I mean, it's almost like if a guy pulls a move on me like that on the turn, I almost don't buy it, and I almost call him down with ace-10.
Right.
Rabbit cam was a 10. I thought it was funny that Sammy Farha and that actor, I forget his name, one of Tobey Maguire's friends there, told the story to Tobey Maguire. They both flopped full houses on the first hand. Ace-10 against pocket 10s. Ace, ace-10. And the actor went broke.
Was
Both-
that, when was that? On
This
tonight?
was last week's first day of the main event.
Oh, it's a 2-hour?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
there
2
are 2 shows?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I missed a lot then.
3/4 of it.
Three-quarters of it.
Yeah.
I saw Jennifer get mad at the guy,
that
and that was about the end.
That was a brutal beat, huh?
Yeah, and I thought she took it pretty well. I mean, that's, you know, so, yeah, kind of hard for you to call with the nuts there, but,
David is raised here with pocket 8s, and it's funny, though, because he made it 35 to go. A lot of the people on some of the blogs and 2+2 thought that she didn't necessarily take it that well.
really?
Yeah. That she was kind of a bitch by saying
Well,
it.
you know, it's tough to take the beats,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, that's part of poker. And if that's all it was, you know, her getting upset about it and stuff like that, I would say, you know, I would tend to agree with them. But because that jerk, you know, slow-rolled it like that, and the way that he did that, he deserved worse than what she gave him, that's for sure.
Couple people have called here. It was a $35 raise, and Harry's going to come in with a weak ace.
35.
I know you said 45 earlier.
So it's a $35
Just
raise,
letting you know, 'cause you
and
said
there's going to be 5-way action. So
5 players.
it's about $175. There's some big pots here, pre-flop,
Mm-hmm.
$175 pot. And Harry gets rewarded for playing ace rag. He hits top pair. $175 pot. But again, I mean, how do you possibly know if ace-7 is good here with this type of action? Well, he's going to bet.
You bet and find out.
Bet 50.
He bets 50 into a $175 pot. And it really puts 8s in a tough spot. I mean, that's such a weak bet. $225, 50 to call, and he gets away from it. But ace, he's going to call with middle pair.
Middle.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Oh, yeah, bottom there. All right, 4-5.
2 players.
So we're heads up. $275 pot. The turn's a 3. It gives ace an open-ended straight draw now. And look at this check. And the river is a 5.
Wow.
And that is unbelievable. He's hit trips. And he's going to bet. He bets 80. He bets $80 into a $275 pot, so the pot's now $355. It's 80 to call. Surprised that Harry checked there on the turn? Does he just think his hand's not good enough to bet?
I'm surprised he checked.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, $80. He's going to make the call. And ace takes it down with trip 5s.
Okay, call.
Wow.
Well, I mean, once again, we see the problem with playing ace rag. You never really know where you stand. You
No.
bet your hand thinking it's good, and then you freeze up because you get called.
Yeah, once you get called, it's like, boy, I must be in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he freezes up, but I mean, once you get called, you still have to.
Well, I mean, but
You either take the continue betting, or you have given up. And if he had chosen to he had given up, which looked like is what he did, then he doesn't make that call on the river.
well, the problem is that he bet so little on the flop, $50 into a 175. The guy's calling 50 for a $225 pot. I mean, at that point, if you think that a guy like Harry's going to pay me off if I spike trips or 2 pair, I can call.
Right.
I mean, I'm getting almost 5-1 on my money.
Right.
So it's, I know what you're saying, that you kind of shut down, but he didn't really bet enough to even get the information to see if anyone was even had an ace.
Yeah, I agree.
50 into 225, Ace has got the button here in seat 9.
I'm like, okay, my keeper's dead.
His stack's being nibbled away.
It's already in for a buy-in, right?
Well,
Oh, you're talking
no,
about
we're
Harry.
talking- right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
He had more chips
Yeah.
earlier.
Queen 5-3 here. Pot was limped around.
Check. Bet 15.
$15 bet here.
Two players.
And seat 8 is called.
Seat 8 is called?
Yep. King 8 of hearts. The turn is a 3. And now Al bets again. He was just betting with an open-end straight draw, and he takes it down.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he called with King Eye.
Wow.
What's wrong with that?
Now, let me ask you a question. Al's he's a nice guy. He's a pretty skinny guy, right?
Yeah.
Do you like that type of guy, or do you like more of the...
He's a little on the thin side, and but I like.
I'm just saying, in general, is it all a different taste for women?
I think so.
I see, but I actually think that most women don't like, guys that are really skinny. That might even be like skinnier than them, like rails.
Yeah. No, I don't like. I like slim though.
Oh, really?
Fit.
Slim.
When because I told you I've been going to the gym and the trainer, and my trainer's like all muscle, and he's
Well,
like,
there's a difference
winter's
between
coming,
muscle
I'm going to
tone
start
and-
building again, and he's already big, and I was like, it's just never done anything for me, like really big muscles,
Right.
like nice defined gymnasts, swimmers, those type of bodies, those are good.
But not necessarily like 5'7", 125.
No, that's a little too. If they're thinner than me, that's not a good thing.
We got a
If they weigh
raise
less
here
than me.
by seat 8, Andy with 8-9, and he's going to get called in 3 spots. He made it 20 to go, and he picks up an open-ended straight draw. And he's played interesting brand of poker tonight as well. We just saw him call there with the King 8. He's going to bet.
Bet 50.
He bets 50.
What's even more amazing is he's laid down top pair King kicker.
Right.
And then he calls
yeah.
with King High. King 8.
Look at this. Danny is going to call with King Jack. Backdoor diamonds. Again, I can understand raising in this spot, or if he's setting up a play. Harry's got a gut shot to the 4. He lays it down.
Two players.
And we're heads up. Turns a diamond. He's picked up the draw. Danny checks. And he's going to bet again.
Bet 100.
He bets 100. And Danny quickly calls. And if everyone misses, Andy has to bet here on the river. The river's a queen. He's got to bet.
He has to continue.
He's got to bet.
But that's scary.
Yeah, but
You know,
would
the
a guy
guy's
check
called-
a queen, though, to you?
Right.
Or can maybe this guy represent a queen? That's what I think he's going to do. He's going to try to represent a queen here. I want to say the pot's about $350.
$225.
And he's going to bet
Yeah,
$225.
he is.
And obviously, if Andy knew what we knew, he could actually raise him and get him off the hand. But, I mean, at this point, it's about a $500 pot. So even if you make it 500 straight, or 375 more, or 275 more, I mean, the pot's going to be so big.
I think Danny is probably going to leave here thinking, you know, I've played some great poker. I've really made some good bluffs when he's had the best hand. Remember he had that pair of sevens, that weak bottom pair of sevens was
Right.
the best hand. King high here, best hand. And he had one more. I don't remember, some small pair.
That's a new one, Shirley Rosario. She likes slim. Muscles don't really do that much.
Defined.
Defined.
Not, yeah, defined is nice.
There you go, Isaac.
45.
Al is going to raise here. He's going to make it 45 to go. King, queen offsuit on the button.
45 total.
And pocket four is there for seat 8. He's going to make the call. King 10 suited for Eric. He makes the call in seat 1.
3 players.
And again, big pot pre-flop. 135, 3 ways. Ace, King 10. And Eric has picked up bottom 2. And he's going to check it.
Bet 60.
And Al's going to bet. Pair and a gut shot. He bets 60.
65.
And how do you play this one if you're King 10?
You
Your
have
hand
to-
might
you
not
have
even
to
be
put
good.
a raise.
Yeah, you got to
You
find
have to put in a
find
raise and get
something
some
out.
kind of information. And you can't let, you know, another card come for
Raise to
cheap.
165.
Well, there he is. He's going to make it
165, another
right.
100 more.
So he's raised it 100. And look at that. Is Al? He just.
I don't know if he is. I'd be surprised if he makes the call.
Well, I would be too. I mean, Eric hasn't been that out of line tonight.
He's
like
playing
he's-
a lot different than he played last time.
Looks like he's eating some broiled chicken and broccoli over there too. It's my favorite. Again, Al does have a gut shot. There's a couple of hearts out there. He bet 60 on the flop. He got check raised to 160. The pot is 270. It's 100
Lancaster.
for Al to call.
Gyms. A lot of people like these. Pretty cool, yeah.
And he's going to get rid of it. And I got to tell you, Al is just one of these, and it actually shows the King 10 to Al. Al's one of these players. I think he didn't play on Live the Bike like early on, but now he just loves it because, you know, he looks at it like it helps his game or it helps playing in this game. He plays this game all the time. He does this full time in this game pretty much. 300, 500. And of course, if you want to subscribe to the archives, you can go to liveatthebike.com and click on the archives banner, and all of the shows that we have filmed in the past are there. And you can pay $14.95 and get you a subscription, get you access to every show. Ace in seat 9 is going to raise with Ace King.
40 total.
Danny calls with Ace 6 of clubs. And Harry is in there with 4-5 offsuit. Well, let's see if Danny gets into trouble here. He has bet with top pair early on. Every single hand he's hit it, and he's going to bet again.
Bet 60.
He bet 60. Action's over to Ace.
Call.
He just calls. Pot's now about $200. Turns a diamond.
100.
Bet 100.
And Danny is going to bet 100 here.
Which is a little small.
Call.
And ace quickly calls. Once again. The pot is now about $400. Neither player has a diamond in their hand, and the river's a queen. It's a $400 pot.
100.
And he just bets 100 here again. These are little defensive bets, I think, Shirley. And now the problem for aces is that anyone with a 10 has a straight. He can't beat a flush. Did the guy's going to, or excuse me, well, king 10 would be a straight, I'm sorry. He can't beat a flush.
Deuce 5. But, I mean,
I
those
think
hands are very unlikely.
I think I'd be more scared of 2-pair now at this point. But it's only 100. I've come this far, and he makes the call. And ace-king is going to be good.
King plays.
And ace takes it down. Were you the one that told me that that Jennifer actually was crying after that hand?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna look at another chip count. Eric, well, I guess Al lost a little bit. Eric check raised him there.
Right.
So Eric and Al are still up at top there. A couple people trucking it along at 700, high 700s. Uh-oh, pocket aces against pocket kings. Al's got pocket kings, and I believe that seat 6 has pocket aces.
Wow.
And seat 6 has got about 650 in front of him.
50, okay. 50 total.
Al has raised it up to 50.
All those chips. What that he's won from his sets.
Al's made it 50 to go. Pocket kings against pocket aces.
Let me see.
Queen jack suited here for Gus.
There you go. See?
Let's see what seat 6 does here.
45.
Does he even know what he
I
has?
don't know.
He might not have even
Looks
looked
like
at his
he's eating
cards.
some shrimp cocktail.
I think you have to.
Oh, he has looked at his cards.
Easier.
And he just calls.
He's trying to get tricky. He doesn't
Just
know that
calls.
he could get a lot of chips if he puts in a raise.
Well,
Okay,
that ultimate action killer could come from him if it actually makes a set for his hand. Well, this is pretty harmless. 9-8-4. But again, though, Al, he knows what he's doing. I mean, this just makes it even more that maybe kings could be beat, like if the guy flopped a set or something, as opposed to if all the money went in on the flop, pre-flop, excuse me. He bets 50 here, and I think Al checked the flop. Did Al check the flop from up front?
Al's in position.
Oh, okay. And he makes it 100,
makes
so 125. So the small blind bets.
75.
And Al makes it 125. It's 75 for Harry to call. And again, if Harry moved all in here, I don't know if Al would call.
Well, Harry's throwing those little tells, when he puts his hand.
And here we go, Shirley. He moves all
moves
in. And again, this is the situation I was talking about. If he did it pre-flop, I think he would have had all of Al's money. But now that more cards have come out, like Al can't beat 9-8 right now.
Right.
And it wasn't that much money in the pot before the all-in. I mean, we're talking, it was raised to 50. He called, so it was 100. He just bet 50, and Al made it 125. So that means it's 350 before the all-in. And he's going to move all in for what looks like...
But, I mean, even if there's not a lot of money in there earlier on, if you think you have the best hand, you still have to make the call. So it's really, a tough decision if Alan thinks he has the best hand
Well,
or
it's
not.
440 more, so the pot is 800 and it's 440 to call.
Right.
He's getting a little under 2 to 1. If you think the guy has something like 9-8, can you call here with 2 cards to come? Of course, this all comes down to a range of hands. What could he possibly have? A set, 2 pair. Could he have something like 10s or jacks, a smaller overpair? Or could he have aces?
Right. Well, the one thing that makes it a little fishy to me is the way that he was throwing his hands up in the air. I don't know if you caught that, but they throw their hand like, what the hell? Okay.
Got a new job for him.
So it's 440 more. It's an $800 pot.
And
And he makes the call, and he's in big trouble.
He's in
is
really
big
big trouble because one of the players folded a king.
Turn is a 9,
Oh, man.
and the river's a 10. And there you go. Harry stacks it up.
It's coming, dude. Nice hand. Just enjoy
And
it.
you know, the funny thing is sometimes you can actually do that. I mean, Harry didn't re-raise it pre-flop. I didn't realize he was actually in the small blind. So when Al comes in for 50, you're probably going to assume that not a lot of people are going to call him. So now maybe I'll get tricky with it heads up, and that's what he did with the aces.
Hi, gal.
Thank you. The next batter gets on the wrist.
Hey. If it comes back, it stays here. You get one
So
chance.
takes it down, aces against kings.
I would have done the same to anybody on the table, except my brother-in-law. And I got to check it down.
So anyways, getting back to Jennifer Harman. Have you ever taken such a bad beat that it's affected you emotionally? Like really bad where you're crying or like it's really kicked you in the butt?
Nobody would ever see me cry
No.
inside a poker room.
You had that stigma to hold up.
I'm not going to let people see that anything. Normally, things don't get to me emotionally, anyways. I'm pretty even-tempered.
Yeah.
When I'm playing poker, you know, someone gives me a bad beat. That's poker. You know, it's not a big deal. When I play bad or I do a stupid mistake, I get really down on myself, and sometimes I do get emotional, but never inside a card room. You know, it'll be outside of my car, but I'm not going to go out there and bawl. But I have gotten pretty pissed off at myself.
4 players.
Seat 4 is the raiser. He made it 20 to go with 9-10 offsuit. And the flop comes out Queen 8-5. Ace has a flush draw and a straight draw. He checks. Everyone checks. Turns a jack. And now Gus has picked up a straight. He had the gut shot. He was the original raiser. He took a card on the flop, but he's picked up the straight on the turn.
Yeah.
He bets 50. And Danny's going to call with Ace-10? Wow. And Ace is in there with the flush draw and straight draw.
Straight flush draw.
Yeah.
He's 7 of clubs.
And the river's a 6.
Check.
Ace checks. And Gus has the nuts right now, doesn't he? 9-10. There isn't a hand that can beat him. And he's going to bet. He's going to bet 100.
100s. I love your accent, buddy. He's got that French accent. French people.
He said 100.
And Danny's going to
No, he
fold.
didn't say that. He said 100s. Oh, maybe, you know, you were in the background.
Well, Ace hit a pair on
so
the
it
river.
sounds different to you,
He had a pair of 6s on the river.
I think.
It's $100 to call. Remember, Gus checked the flop. He bet the turn.
I mean, he only has a pair of 6s.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think that's what's getting him the fact that he checked the flop and then bet the turn. Does he have ace king?
Does he
And
have
he's going to
heart
call.
draw?
He's going to call. Straight is good.
Straight.
Race.
It is kind of funny, I think, that seat 5 is commenting about that one. I guess Gus is French in seat 4? When they learn their English, you know, they tend to... Oh, it's the deal. Oh.
He's going to get one too.
Anyways. French people, some Asian people, when they're learning English, which is a difficult language, sometimes they'll put that plural S onto some words that don't need an S, right? Straights. I think we have a dealer here that says 40s, 50s, you know, when you raise. Sometimes
Really?
it drives me crazy. Yeah.
30.
Got a $30 raise here by seat 1. Seat 6 is going to call with ace-5 offsuit, and the ace is in there with queen-10 spades. Three-way action. Queen 8-8. Ace has got top pair.
You know, I could have used that on the last flop. Last hand, I had ace 8. Second, I had pair on top. Remember?
So let's see how this plays out.
Check.
Ace checks, Eric checks. And Harry takes the card. Turns a king. Well,
Check again.
now Eric's got top pair.
Bet 100.
and he's going to bet 100.
I thought there was only 2 players. It's okay.
So Ace let that card come off on the flop, or on the turn there, and he's going to get rid of it.
Had the ace flush.
I'm really
I was
kind
hoping
of
my 5
puzzled by
would,
Eric's play tonight.
clubs also.
The first, well, play in general. The first time we saw him, he played kind of like he played tonight. He played pretty solid poker. You know, played well. Last week he was going a little crazy, playing a lot of hands, betting small amounts, and then tonight he's again playing really well.
No, I turned 1.
Last week was just, and last week though he won a lot of money.
Puzzling, yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
His style of play just depends on his mood, I guess.
Looks like Gus has got pocket queens over there in seat 4. And ace king for seat 8. Seat 7, Harry has pocket 7s in seat 6.
45.
And Gus makes it 45 to go. Again, very, very big pre-flop amounts here tonight. King, queen, offsuit in seat 5 makes the call. Pocket 7s is going to come in to his left.
Yeah, I knew he would call.
Ace, king, let's see what Andy does with it. He's going to make the smooth call.
45 total.
I probably would not have played it like that.
And we got 4 ways. 4
There's
players.
a lot of money out there.
Yeah.
You put a big raise.
Set of queens and
That's
a
a good
set
thing.
of 7s and king, queen. And Gus checks the queens from up front. King, queen also checks Danny, and that might save him a lot of money. Look at this. Harry checks his set of 7s, and Andy's going to bet with ace, king. Set over set. A
And then top
$75
pair.
bet there on the button with someone who has nothing. And the king, queen. I mean, this is amazing. The pot was 180 pre-flop. It's now 255, 75 to call. I'm surprised that Danny checked the king, queen. More surprised about that.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I think that Harry's going to go broke on this hand. Well, Gus is going to double through. I think Harry has him covered.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see how he plays, Gus.
Oh, yeah?
Well, if he makes a check raise, it might save Danny some money.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
He's just going to call. Now maybe Danny check raises here.
I was counting. It was
Is
only
Danny
42
slow
seconds,
playing
by the
it?
way.
So Gus smooth calls the bet from the button. And this is the problem, the trouble with king, queen, and calling raises. I
He's gonna get away from
I got to
it.
give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, me too.
Give him a lot of credit. He smells something's up,
Idle mode.
and he gets away from it. And Harry, of course, got that hand motion like,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
I think it's 175.
And he's going to check raise to 175.
he has such a big tell.
Obviously, Andy's going to get away from this. And at this point, if you're Gus... Whoa, wow, Andy calls! He calls with ace-king. And Gus immediately moves all in with 3 queens. Harry calls with 3 7s instantly. Gus has about $400 in front of him. Harry has him covered. The action's back over to Andy on the button with ace-king. He had called the big check raise on the flop. And now he's
yeah,
not going to call.
finally.
Pot's over $1,000. And boy, Harry is drawing to 1 out here. Turn is a jack, and the river's a 4. And Gus is going to take down a big one.
He knew it too.
I know he knew what he had.
Wow.
He knew what he had, but he just still called.
There you go.
I can't lay it down.
265.
Yes,
I
pocket
had the
ace.
case.
And again, Andy's play continues to puzzle me in seat 8.
Yes.
Good hand, man.
Yeah,
Bet
I'm
from the button.
he's gotten his chips in there when he's had nothing. And then he's laid down when he's had his pair.
I mean, how does that make sense that the guy lays down king 10 a couple times and then makes a call there on the flop with ace king when
Right.
the pre-flop raiser smooth calls you and the guy check raises you in between?
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, you have to contend with the pre-flop raiser, who was, in fact, slow playing a monster.
Well, I mean,
Over there in
he was
C4.
only $100 more if he thought his ace or king was good, but it doesn't fit with his character. I mean, he's been laying down top pairs, so why would he call to hit a pair?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm surprised nobody at this table can see what seat 6 is doing. I mean, he keeps throwing his arms up when he has a huge hand and he acts disinterested in the pot. Usually takes a drink of his soda or eats one of his things in the middle of his hand, the hand.
Well, this time he's picked up ace-jack and he's made it 30 to go. Seat 8 calls it queen 8 of hearts.
4 players.
Sure. But once they
8-7-4. Andy's picked up top pair. Alan has a flush draw.
I had them on like pocket aces.
Bet 50.
Queen 8 is going to bet 50.
No, I threw his cards down.
And I believe that Alice quickly called.
That was high five.
No, it sounded like a slap. High five sounds a little stronger than that.
That was well. They were
Face slap.
I can see him right here. It was aggressive.
And Danny has a pair and
How
a
much?
50.
gut shot. And he makes the call.
Man, are we getting any arrow there?
Well, again, you know, if a 5 comes out, it's going to be pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. There has to be an offsuit 5.
Yeah. It's 2 spades on board, too.
3 players. Yeah, usually we have 2 fans.
Pot is now about $200. The turn is a 3.
Check.
I'm going to bet 100.
Okay, 100.
And Andy's going to bet 100. And Al's out of there. And Danny calls again, and he actually has a lot of outs. He can hit a 6, a 4, or a 5.
How much was that pot to call $100?
It was,
Wasn't Alan getting the right price on that?
$200 pot, and the river's a 9. It was only 200 in the pot, so it will.
Oh, okay.
The bet makes it 300, so he calls 100 to win 300.
Okay.
And the river is a 9 here.
He would have got there.
120 left?
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have known that,
That his
overs
9 and
was
king
going
were
to be
good.
good.
Right.
Yeah. He did have over cards and a flush draw. Yeah, you might see a lot of people make that.
All in.
And look at this. Is Danny's going to move all in? Wow. The pot is 400 plus whatever Danny can move in there that Andy has him covered, so probably another 100. So it's $500 pot and maybe 100 to call here for Andy.
Yeah, he only has $100 left.
Right.
And, you know, you got to toss the possibility of a flush draw for the most part out.
Right.
You know, the guy, or a flush.
So again, it doesn't matter how much Danny has, it's how much Andy has left. He can only bet 100. So it's about a $500 pot, and it's 100 for Andy to call.
Right.
And he moved all in with the 9.
No, no way. Your re-raise is the right one you call it.
And what does, like you said, what does a 9 complete here?
Oh, you love that.
Was he chasing with 10 jack? I mean, 9 doesn't really complete anything that was an open-ended straight draw, right? And look at this, he's going to get away from
Wow.
it. I mean, if you actually examine what a 9 helps there, it's
It doesn't
not
really help
yeah,
much because if
it's-
someone had an open end 5,
Right.
6, they had already
They
had
had
the
already
straight.
got it,
They had
right.
flopped the straight.
Right,
And if they had the straight, they're not going to put the raise in on the river
right.
when a higher straight can be there and the
Right.
flush. I just don't think that they would.
You don't play high no more. You play high
Pocket jacks here. Seat 5.
45.
And Danny has raised here to 45. Ace King here for Mr. Tidy Whitey, David Kelsey over here in seat 7.
Raise.
And he's going to re-raise.
135.
He's at 135 to go.
Okay, I got it.
Dimitri has pocket 6s. He's been away from the table for a while. And it's going to be interesting to see what Danny does here with the jacks. I mean, seat 7 has been by far the tightest player on the table. Does he want to get involved? Would he make this move with ace king?
Yes.
Obviously, we can see he would.
Yeah.
And he makes the call. Now, the problem here is if rags flop and the guy already has an overpair,
You're in
you're
trouble.
dead anyways, right? Well, ace deuce 4. I guess that's the ultimate.
But if an ace flops, then
Yeah.
you get away from it cheap.
He checks.
If you put him on ace king.
It's about a $270 pot. And it looks like he's double fisting 200 there.
200.
470, 200 to call. I gotta tell you, maybe I'm giving you a little information whenever you play me, but usually, like, if I raise with jacks and somebody like an Allen in seat 2 or seat 7 comes over the top of me, I just don't get involved. I mean, because if rags flop, you still don't know if you have the best hand, right?
Right.
I mean, especially if we're both deep. Queens is a different story. That's why I think queens is some of the queens are really, really a difficult hand to play. But jacks are not up to that level where aces, kings, and queens are at, where I can actually just get away from them pre-flop.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
you can't be folding premium hands like jacks all the time to re-raises.
If
You're
I-
just saying it depends on the player, I hope.
No.
Because, I mean, you
Seat
can't...
7 and seat 2 here
Someone
at this
comes over the
table.
top of you, you can't lay down jacks every time. I mean, you're not dealt hands that good.
No, not
that
every
often.
time. I'm saying if I was playing at this table,
Okay.
probably if Al came over the top of me in seat 2 or if seat 7 came over the top of me, I wouldn't get involved.
Okay.
No, if Danny came over the top of me in seat 6 or Harry
5.
in
Yeah,
seat
right.
6, probably be a little bit different. If you came over the top of me, it'd be a little
I
bit
know
different.
that you would get your chips in there.
Oh, I was gonna call blind. Can you believe it? You know what? $20 raise without looking.
Okay.
No.
And actually, some
$20 total.
people on 2+2 are saying that from this week's episode of the main event or the World Series of Poker, if we thought that last week that Jennifer took it bad, check out this week. Some of the way that people have taken some bad beats, how they acted.
Was it bad? Oh, okay. Bad beats or sportsmanship?
Oh, baby.
Probably both.
Both,
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-6 option.
Phil Hellmuth, I would imagine, huh?
Fine.
Deuce 3-5. I really like Phil Hellmuth, though.
I like Phil, too. I mean, he makes great television, even though, you know, it's just not the way that you should act when you're playing poker.
Harry checks. He's got an open-ended straight draw. And are these two gentlemen in the blinds here? David's going to bet.
I can't say no.
Well, I guess, I don't know. David's
They're not.
opening up his starting requirements.
Yeah.
And Harry actually made a straight there. He checked it on the turn. Now he's going to bet the river. I think it's $10. He bets $10 here on the river. There isn't a whole lot that David can beat out here.
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
More than a little bit?
A little bit more than a little bit.
All right. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
And he folds.
Is that good enough?
Yep. Whoa.
Dealer, make sure that card's good.
Thank you. Okay, change it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see a bunch of poker players crying and whining and cussing about bad beats.
There was one time where I got upset when I played in the Omaha tournament. And I never play to finish in the money. You know, I mean, I play to win the event. And on this particular day, for some reason, I played like such a wuss. When, you know, I was playing decent, and then a couple of my hands and draws didn't get there, and then we were like 2 out of the money, and I started playing like a total pansy. I ended up making it into the money or making it in the final
Like a
table. I don't
pansy?
remember. Oh, it was so bad. So when I got there, they said, "Oh, congratulations, you made it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, 2 chips. There's no way I could win this. You know, I got $1,400 for that, or first place was $30,000." And I left there, and I cried. But
You're
outside,
upset about making the final table?
I was upset that I played like such a pansy that I never gave myself a shot to win $30,000. I played for $1,400, and that's not my style. I mean, it's just like, you know, when you played in that tournament and on Poker Stars a couple weeks back and you made it in the money. I mean, it doesn't feel great to finish in 16th place or just barely make it in the money. We're playing to win.
I finished in 10th. I made the final table.
That's not the final table.
You're right. It's not. Seat 6 has got pocket queens, and he raised it to 45, and Andy, again, puzzling. He calls with ace-deuce offsuit. Seat 9 suited 7-4 in there. And again, we've got over $100 pot going to the flop.
3 plates.
King, 6, deuce. And he's going to bet.
45.
He bets 45. And Andy moves all in, but it's not for much more. Looks like maybe 25 more.
25 more.
I know you got me, but I got a call for the...
And
25.
again, the chances that maybe Andy's making a play here with a hand that doesn't have a king in it probably are enough to make this call, and he does call. And he doesn't have a king. Turns a 10. Andy needs
But
an,
Harry does think that he doesn't have
yeah,
the best hand.
Andy needs an ace or a deuce, and the river's a 5.
Serious? The hell she have?
It's not a king.
I almost played
And
it.
he takes it down. Boy, he looks like he's having a feast over there. Shrimp, hamburger, French
Yeah, he has
fries.
3
Look like
plates
a
there.
5 or 6 course meal.
Christmas is coming early. Or some people. I don't know. Not me.
Are these guys Greek in seat 5 and seat 6?
500.
That's quite an expense in
Well-
my household.
Or Armenian? Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I went to this really good Greek restaurant a couple days ago. Amazing.
I've been to one.
love Greek
Where?
food.
Yeah.
Oof.
Where
It's
was
on
it?
3rd Street.
San Pedro?
No, LA.
Oh.
3rd Street.
Well, there's one in San Pedro, but I don't know if it's actually on 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. It's right in there between 3rd and 6th. And I think it's called Papadakis. It's great.
How much behind does he have? 5?
500.
Seat 1 here, Eric, he's going to raise with ace queen.
Seat 8?
What do you do? Don't chase him out. I
Makes
haven't
it
looked
30 to
at my
go.
cards
Gus is going to call with pocket 7s on the button. All of the aces are accounted for in this
Got a
hand.
heads up hand.
yet. Hi-ya!
Ace 5, ace 4, ace 4. Harry's got ace 4 suited. I gotta say, I like pocket 7s, huh? All the aces are dead.
25 more.
Right.
30 total. Attaboy. Water's warm.
And it looks like all the aces have come in.
Yeah, the only thing that you worry about is a queen.
Right.
Well, he doesn't know that's what he's worried about.
$150 pot, 30 times 5. And look at
Make
that.
it there.
Queen 9-3. Unbelievable. Let's see if Eric bets here with the top pair.
It's your time to bet.
Who?
It's to him.
Check to you, bro.
We checked.
Oh, it was? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Do what you got to do.
I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
$150 in the pot.
100.
He bets 100.
100.
And Gus gets away from the 7s. And Eric is most likely just going to take it down here.
You got a nice open-ended. The only other thing you can have is pocket jacks.
Everything you ask me, I'm going to say no. But I'll show you.
I know you're going to show me because you're going to show me. You're going to say, "Hey, see how I got down there."
And once again, he's doing a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, kicking his teeth at the table.
Yeah. Did you mention that in here?
Yeah.
Or were you mentioning that just to me outside?
Jacks.
You want to draw?
I don't know, probably both. People that pick their teeth or
You said dental
floss at the table. Do they want to be around that? Floss at the bathroom, jeez. Do you brush your teeth out at the table?
No, I thought you were open-ended.
Oh, you had jacks.
Yeah, one of mine is people clipping their nails at the
Oh,
table.
that's
Have you seen
bad,
that?
too.
A lot of the people,
I actually.
I've worked in casinos a long time. A lot of people have those clippers. Oh, yeah. Chip count.
Well, Eric.
Yeah, he's still doing well.
Yep, and Gus made a ton of money there when he had that set of queens over set. He's up. And Alan.
Poor
I don't
Alan.
think-
He only has $200
Yeah, wow,
there.
he got killed with that hand with pocket kings.
Right.
Absolutely get
Kings
killed.
against aces.
Yeah.
Back to back, huh?
And Eric has ace queen again,
Good.
and he's going to raise.
It's good.
Now Dimitri's got king queen. Let's see if he makes the call. Oh, there you
The
go.
worse the kicker, the more the pre-flop bet. I know. I call, dealer.
And
I give those guys over there some
King
action.
3 offsuit.
'Cause they're dying.
Excuse me, 6-9
6-9.
offsuit calls.
Yeah, that's a guy thing.
Guy thing because the guy just beat him out of the last spot.
No, it's a guy thing. They like that hand. 6-9.
Oh, an ace is in there with 8-3 suited. And look at this, 69 comes here on the flop.
It's 2 pair.
10-9-6. Look at that, he goes out with that little hand motion again. Like, well, I'm gonna bet. That's 100.
95.
95 to be precise. And yeah, and he's not going to call.
They have water for days on that table. Did you see that between seat 1 and 2? They have
Yeah.
4 bottles of water. So you haven't seen people have
man, you
those
helped me
the
out.
clippers on their keychain, clipping their.
I've seen it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
I didn't know they
flop,
would
man.
actually do it
Good
at the
flop.
table.
You
But
haven't seen that?
Solid flop.
I've seen it a lot.
I was winning an all-in,
I got 2 overcards.
so I can think about what I was going to do then.
Yeah, at least.
I know exactly what you did. You had king
the
queen.
button now moves over to seat 6.
Not exactly.
All right, all right. Queen
We have
jack
about an
suited.
hour
There you
left
go.
in the show, or maybe 40 minutes.
You saw
40
those
to
red
50
cards out there.
minutes.
You were like,
For $14.95, man.
Again, join us tomorrow night for our big whale name. Most likely 25, 50 blinds, $5,000 max, restricted buy and no limit. And
Which makes it a
Jonas,
lot more exciting.
absolutely. And Jonas joined us last week. Riverboat King on 2+2.
Yeah, we
we'll
had-
see if he will join us again.
A lot of players that brought some life into the game than the usual cast of characters on Well Night. I mean, we had Jonas and Jesus and his friend and Barry and Mark. Was it Mark in it last
He
week?
was.
Yeah.
Dimitri has raised here. Ace, King of Hearts. And Harry has called with Jack 9. Is Mark back in Vegas right now?
Yes,
Yeah.
he went to play the Bellagio WPT event today.
Well, and look at this, Barry's hit top pair here. He quietly was the big winner last night. I mean, after the last couple minutes of the show when we went off the air. He
Last
won
week?
a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been in the booth since that night, but you were talking about wanting to interview the big winner, and he looked over at Joe and said, "Oh, he's the big winner."
Look at this. Harry has bet 60, and Dimitri has check raised him all in with Ace King. So a bet there by Harry. And he's talking about Jack 9 because he got raised off of Jack 9 before when he didn't have the best hand earlier in the night.
That's what she's doing.
Let's see how much more it is. The bet on the flop was, I believe, 30. And Dimitri has check raised him all into 300. So I got to tell you that the pot is probably...
It's an interesting move, but I really think it's going to work here. Dimitri hasn't gotten involved in anything.
Well, again, if Harry bet about 30 or 40 there on the flop, and it was raised pre-flop, I want to say that the pot was about 130 there.
He's got a flush draw,
Dimitri.
straight
I'd say the
draw.
pot's about 400 to 450, 300 for him to call. So
Bro, come on, man. Just think
It's
just
not
play
chump
your hand,
change.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This game's slow enough as it is.
and now they're complaining about how
They're-
long it
yeah,
takes.
they're getting
Your
frustrated
active
with
coach
him.
your money back, by the way.
Who makes the money, man? Enjoy the table and we'll go to a house.
Well, Dimitri has overcards and a gut shot. Pick up a queen and
Bet 35
an ace or a
pre-flop.
king.
Right.
I don't have you on 10, Jack.
I always love it too, Shirley, when people say, "Oh, I didn't put you on ace queen. I put you on ace king, or vice versa, because you raised 35
Don't worry, we'll
pre-flop."
pay
I'm sitting
you.
there, I'm like, what?
No, like the
What are you talking
10-9
about?
area.
Dimitri has left the table and said, when he decides, you can push the pot to my direction.
$35 pre-flop. Jack.
This guy is
That's
amazing.
Better hand than... How can he have a better hand than me? Heads up. How can he have a better hand than me?
Well, all they would have to do is just call for time at the table, Shirley.
Yeah,
Just
one
somebody-
person
Yeah.
say, can we get a clock? And the floor will come over and they give him 1 minute to add.
Easier for me.
Don't worry, we'll pay
That's
you.
what I thought.
Look at Dimitri.
Yeah, well, he can't go. He
He's going
can't go
smoke.
too far because if he makes the call, he has to turn his hand up to win the pot on the river. If he gets there,
He's itching to cash that. You know that?
Come on, man.
I think Demetrius going away. He's walking away. He's going to smoke. Now he's stopped.
You want Kenya? Cool. I don't think he has a good
Last
call.
time he had pocket aces, he went all in. He doesn't have pocket
This
aces.
is unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody walk away from
this
the
is.
table.
I mean, it's a good thing that this guy can't hear what we're saying because if he makes the call and it goes down in the river, what happens?
Oh, someone could turn Demetrius' hand over, right?
He's responsible for his own hand.
You shouldn't do that because I can get a read
I think technically.
looking at his card.
I don't think that we're gonna kill his hand. Again,
Well,
this guy's
we're not
taking
gonna
like
kill it. No.
he's taking like 5 minutes.
I'm
No,
not
I know.
saying
Besides
kill
all that
his
stuff,
hand.
I'm just saying that again. While we continue to talk, he still hasn't made a decision.
Right.
ESPN.
I gotta think. I need a minute.
Live at the bike.
Not $40.
There's 40 million people watching in Europe right now.
Okay,
40 million people watching us.
you can't have it.
Other side, other side.
Like an 18 rating tonight.
He has Queen 9, or he's got Ace King.
Find out.
Well, we really got to get this guy on the clock,
Draw the drama.
and he's gonna fold. He was eating up all our delay there, actually.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, we were actually announcing this when I looked over to Evelyn on the stream. The hand was on, and he was still making the decision.
Come on, dude.
It was just coming on, yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. But we
Right.
still had 5 minutes later. I mean, that's what I mean is he took that long to
Right.
decide.
Doesn't matter. You have 14.
I mean, if someone actually waits for 5 minutes, you know, that eats up our delay.
I'm gonna be thinking about it.
That's what the players at the table they should call a call
Yeah.
if it's pushing it like that.
I saw your hand. Ace
Chris
Queen of hearts.
Ferguson had to. We opened the refrigerator in the back. Don't
Should I
worry.
hit? You call him now.
If you call it, you can win the pot. You can't flip it over. Dealer can't flip it over.
Why not? No, I said Foreman can do it. Come on.
Oh no no no!
You
That
had
shit.
that
I grabbed
all
it. And
back.
What's that,
it went-
3-6 diamond?
No, pocket four.
Demetrius says he had pocket fours. I think he actually did go out and smoke.
$14.95.
That's a first.
Yeah, that is a first.
Call.
Oh yeah, so I was discussing that thing about Mark. That he had looked over at Joe Wins and said, okay, well, he has 1,500 or 15,000. The bind was 5,000. That means he's up 10,000. He's the big winner. So I'm going to take some of his chips. And sure enough, as soon as we closed the show out, he took like a $3,000 pot off Joe, and he ended up winning $10,000. Mark did.
Sorry, Mike.
In just the 45 minutes that he was here.
You got 30 stack, 30 stack, 30 stack.
10 deuce 7 here. Turns of 5. Everyone check.
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
for to him.
Yeah, I'm first.
Now it's up to you.
I forgot, man. I got like caught up in the moment.
And now the button
You don't have to
bets.
give him a
Andy.
reason why you're betting.
See how easy it is?
He has
straight draw.
Straight draw.
You said I'll just
But nobody has anything, so I'm sure he'll pick up this pot.
No, I'm just gonna let you have it. Me and you, right?
And I think Harry turned over a deuce there. And he mucked. Yeah, this guy definitely probably holds the record now for taking the longest decisions,
Yes.
C6, of anyone we've ever had on the show.
I laid a big hand down there. Big.
I know you done.
Jack
What's
nine.
that big hand?
Flop, Jack
Big hand, Jack 9.
goes all in. What do you want?
Top pair with a 9 gigger.
That would have been nice.
With 2 spades, C3.
How much you have?
Like 300.
39 jack club.
No, no, him. He has. I have Jack nine.
Too much money.
Got Jack 9? It's okay. Please, when you go home and you pay $14.95 and you check, don't pull your hair and say, oh, I should have called.
You pay, I look. Hey, you could just be honest and tell me, save me all the hassle. Why
Basically,
The button here is in seat 9. He's got king, queen offsuit.
You get 95 cents.
keep doing it. I'll get you.
55.
That's why you ran out. That's why you ran out to the parking lot.
And
I know you're gonna
so
take
it's
your
50
time,
more
so
to
it's
call.
okay. Let's kill
That's
one.
why you ran out
That's
to
like
the
6
parking lot.
minutes. That's enough for.
And Danny's not going to get involved, and Harry's not going to get involved.
Next time, stay here and tell
about
me.
that?
You take 100 back if
there
I
you go.
call.
No, cannot do that.
I know you can. Because I had the best hand.
You did.
Again, if you want to follow a live thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled
I
out.
had you on pocket five.
Click on forums, World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments, the official Live the Bike thread
Listen.
That's okay.
for October 18th.
$300 anyhow.
And this, again, once again, has been somewhat of a bizarre night.
Yes, it has.
I want to get paid off.
If you
I don't
catch a
wanna
9,
just
you'll
call.
be okay if you catch a 9. How about that?
No, I think I was okay.
Pocket 10s here for seat 5.
You were in $300.
Danny.
for the bar.
Gonna raise.
50,
Ace Queen over there
60,
for seat 9.
Makes it 60.
60, wow. And ace calls.
Yeah, I don't even know if I call from that spot with ace queen.
Ace Queen offsuit. Yeah.
60 cold.
Out of, well, you're in position.
You're in position, but I mean, you have no money invested in the pot. You have ace queen.
Right. And that's not the flop that you want with ace queen. King 8 deuce.
75.
Danny bet 75 here. Half the size of the pot again.
Almost got my card detailed.
You can't like it when people pick their nose at the table either and then play around with the chips. Not that Ace
Did he
is
just
doing-
do that?
Well, it looked like it. I don't know if he actually did, but it just reminds me
Oh.
because I've seen it before, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen worse. And I'm not even going to go into that stuff.
Shouldn't use soap when you wash your car.
And Ace mucks and Danny takes it down. Have you seen that movie there by what is it called? Served, where the people are putting all that stuff in the food. Movie about being like a waiter at
Oh, is it like
Fridays. What's it called? What's that movie called?
Is it a real, like a documentary?
No,
a
it's
true
a
film?
fictional movie.
Oh, it's
Fictional movie.
yeah, you know what? I feel like
That's
I
nasty.
forget the name of it, but it came out a couple weeks ago. All about putting
Oh,
weird
you
stuff
know
in
that's
people's
happened to my food. I'm so picky.
food. Really?
Yeah.
I call her up. Sis,
You're
call
not
her
mean
up.
to
See
the
what
food
hell
servers,
she
are you?
No,
wants.
not at
More
all.
fruit.
I mean, that's all I've done, until I played poker was being a food, serve
Cocktail.
food. Well, I served food since I was 16 and then cocktail. Started out at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor.
But you never
Do you
put
remember
anything in
Farrell's? Do
anybody's
you remember
food.
Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor?
Screaming with your size.
That was my
I go
first
too
job.
late. It's already 3 minutes delayed.
She was screaming, "Don't call!"
So never mean to them.
But you never put it in
No,
you didn't put
absolutely
anything in
not.
anybody's food.
Nope. Even if I
It's
was
like a turn in
furious at him, I would never do that.
Everybody was screaming for me.
Couple limpers here.
Please don't do it.
30,
See, one's going to raise here with ace 3 of spades. The big blind has ace queen.
No, please don't shoot. That's
Dimitri has folded king queen
And Russia, please don't shoot. Please don't do
offsuit
it.
That's
to
what I
raise
hear
his
all the time.
pre-flop
Please don't shoot.
pretty much every time he's had them tonight.
Okay.
And he's out of position. He folds again. Again, that's a big time trap hand. I'm going to tell you, so is ace queen.
Hi-ya.
Let's see what Gus does.
I raise.
Well, he's going to re-raise.
I felt it.
And I don't mind the play here because, you've got a raise from a late position raiser surely on the button. And you could easily have the best hand. And once again, all
Well,
of the
he
aces are
raised,
accounted
didn't
for.
he? Didn't call.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't mind the re-raise here. Because you could easily have the
And
best
even
hands.
calling is okay, but calling $60 cold. That's,
Yeah.
35.
I'd call $30. for
Eric
ace
makes the call to the re-raise, and we know that no ace is going to flop. They're all dead. So here we go. It's about a $150 pot, heads up. Look at that, a 3 comes off. Jack 8-3.
queen. Still going to be tough to play.
No, it's okay. Whatever. But, yeah, I got
$25 million, right?
$150 pot.
15 million for first
Go ahead.
Check, check. Wow.
Dealing.
Turns a 10. Gus checks again. Eric checks right behind him, and the river's a jack. Ace 3 is going to be good. I'm sure it's probably going to be check, check here, and it is. Pretty passive.
Three's good. Yeah, miss everything. Almost.
And Eric takes it down. And he continues to stack up his chips. Pretty big winner. Well, I mean, he actually, no, excuse me, he started off at 1,300. He has a lot of chips, but he hasn't really moved around.
I don't think he has.
Yeah.
He was playing too. 25,000 buy. First place, 250.
Satellite.
Yeah, 25,000 just satellite.
$250,000 seat.
Yeah, you want to hear about the saddle? Did you read it? About who played in the satellite?
We've got a couple of ace queens here again. Seems like this is the hand of the night. Seat 2 and seat 8 this time.
First place prize will be 15
See how Al plays it. He is just limped, so everybody limps. And it comes out 7-6 deuce. That's pretty tight passive there from Al. Can the cut off there? Try to drive some people out maybe with ace queen. Chooses to limp in.
Nobody's interested.
And it got checked around. Turn is a 4. And Gus actually had top and bottom on the flop. He didn't bet it. Now he's going to bet. He bets 25. Seat 5 is called. He's got a straight draw. Three-8, drawing pretty slim. And the
That's
river's
just
a 9.
a retarded call.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if a 5 comes, that means that anybody with a 3 has a straight, anyone has an 8 has a straight, and nobody's going to pay you off a dime.
Gus bets 35 here. I agree with you. Unless he was trying to set up a play here on the river, but $35 bet here by Gus.
70. Doesn't say 70.
And look at that. Danny raised it to 70 at the river, but that's not going to be enough. He just raised it the minimum. And Gus makes the call.
Got there, huh? 2 pair.
Oh, 2 pairs, good. And look at this. Jive Dadson, the guy, he plays no limit 5-card draw. And he was a backgammon player. He played it for a living for 4 years. I think we should post a question: is how old really is that guy? $75, $80? Yeah, I guess because he calls his name, he's named Jive. He probably can't be older than 60, right? Button moves over here to seat 4. So it looks like it's just going to get chopped down between the 2 brother-in-laws.
Can't be older than 60?
Oh, excuse me. We got a limper. I'm sorry. Limped around 3 ways. King, 3, 10, all clubs. And Danny comes out and bets here with top pair. Yeah, Jive.
I was thinking he puts him at a minimum of about that.
Oh, a minimum of 60?
Well, because, people back in the... What, was that like only a word in the 50s? Because I'm thinking that word was around in the 40s, but...
No, what I'm saying is
30.
That he can't be any older than 60 if he's using the word jive. You jive soul bro. Isn't that a song? Jive soul bro? Jump and jive. Oh yeah, jump and jive. Yeah.
See, that
Swing
was from
songs.
yeah, swing songs. So he could be.
Okay. Maybe he's not using the term like I thought of it, jive.
50.
Yeah. Seat 9's going to raise here. Pocket 5s. He makes it 50 to go under the gun. Now, Harry has 7-8 offsuit, and he's really staring him down. And again, he pauses and waits and waits.
Every hand does not have to be like this. This is the one bad thing about televised poker. One of the bad things about televised poker.
And he's actually going to make the call.
Check your cards. Maybe you think you'll have something different.
Because he He doesn't think you have what you think you
And here we go, heads up, 7-8 against pocket fives. Queen 10-4, all clubs. Not a great flop for 5 of diamonds, 5 of spades. See if he makes a bet. Continuation bet. Check.
Check.
Check, check. Turn is a 3. Harry checks again. Ace checks right behind him. And the river's an ace. And let's see if Harry tries to take a stab at it now. Well, it's a $100 pot. He's going to have to make it believable. And he bets 75.
75.
And look at that. I guess ace figures is nothing he can beat.
Surrender.
But he never put a
But
bet
he can
in.
beat 7-8.
Well, he never put a bet in, though. He never bet the flop. And look at that. Harry turns over the bluff. I mean, he checked the flop, he checked the turn, he checked the river. So theoretically, the guy could be betting with anything, right? Any 2 cards.
You couldn't beat 7-8 offsuit?
Ask your friend what I have.
You couldn't beat 7-8 offsuit?
That's 4 or 5. You can't be
Next time when you look at your cards, ask me what I think you have. And I'll tell you the truth. What do you have?
And the button moves over to Harry the character in seat 6.
Character. Nice, nice word for him.
Why, what would you call him?
Well, I wouldn't be that nice.
Pocket jacks for Al in seat 2.
No, he did.
Which is the guy on 2+2 calls people idiots?
Idiots?
I said, oh, that's funny, that's scary, I use that word. Actually, I think it might be jive.
Oh, really?
Because I said, I use that word. How scary is that?
Al just limped in with pocket
But
jacks.
there you
here.
go. That's what he is.
20.
And Gus is going to raise here with ace 7 of spades. He makes it 20 to go.
He must have a strong hand. He can move me. I'm 300 pounds. He moved me like I was nothing.
I got 3 strong hands. Here.
So is Al trying to pull the limp re-raise here?
Always do,
Jacks.
brother. Otherwise, how do I get...
8-5 of diamonds calls Harry on the button.
Well, I don't call everybody.
Seat 7 is called, and now I guess there's a couple ways to play it. And look at this, now Al is going to move all in. I didn't realize he probably only had 175, so once
Right.
there's that many people in there, this is probably a pretty good move.
Good time to stick him in.
150 more, or 130 more, 150 total.
He knows we're weak.
In the library,
He sensed
play
it.
some cards.
Because you're just making a weak bet. I'm just calling a weak call.
And I wonder how long Harry's going to take with this one, with the 8-5 of diamonds.
Finished his test.
He's got ace queen.
Gus has mucked it.
Well, he needs to quit commenting on why the players are doing what they're doing and what he thinks they have.
So bad.
And again, he's thought about it for over 15 seconds with 8-5. He still hasn't released it.
He guessed your cards already.
You know what I think you have?
Bro, you gonna call it or not? Let me
8-5 clubs.
let me look
I think
under the
you have
table and
8-5
I'll tell
clubs.
you.
He's still thinking about it.
Hey, you guys, we
And
have
now he mucks
30
it.
minutes until this game ends.
Playing.
We're playing about half the hands that we should.
Yeah. That was drama for nothing.
Seriously.
I think he has 8-5 of clubs. He has
David
all my
mucks.
outs.
You know what
And
he
again,
got?
people start to pester him at the table a little bit.
Ready?
That's annoying.
Shot. He shot. He won the hand. See?
He's not shy. He knows what he's doing.
You know how you know the hand's weak when there's no money in the.
Would you
pot,
say
they
something to a
kick
guy
the
like this
dealer.
if you were sitting at the table?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
What would you say exactly?
I could only hold my tongue for so long. It's just, and Steve gets so mad at me. He says, you just always have to engage in conversation with the idiots at the table. Why don't you just shut up? Focus.
Right.
But I can't help myself.
You're kidding me. You see these guys take down these like
So did he work on
$1,000
it.
pots.
Tip a
You got
dollar.
one? Hey,
He
here's
worked hard on that hand too.
If it's that big, I'll
Pocket kings for seat 5.
Now, if you want to call, it's not the blind.
I had a $1,000 pot the other night. I took down. I gave Brian $20.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Am I right?
Got a limp. And here we go. C5's going to raise it up. $60 raise.
How much?
60.
60? 60?
Okay, let's see what he's had this time to try to figure. Oh, he's not going to play. Al had limped in. It
I
looks
must
like
have been absolutely horrible.
Ace 4 of clubs.
See how quick that is?
Well, I think that's also what he said his brother-in-law, so he doesn't want to play him.
You got something or you don't?
And Al folds. Danny takes it down.
You didn't hit the dealer yet. I gotta see. Oh, 50.
Nothing.
It's orange chip. You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
wants
nothing.
orange chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, did Calvin.
Oh, yeah? The tablet? Go call your girlfriend or your wife. Let her check.
Button has moved over to seat 8.
Showed
Big
it.
blind is in seat
Brother,
1.
he showed him.
Take only one.
We are here live at the bike. Of course, we stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Tomorrow night we'll be doing our big whale game, 25-50. $5,000 maximum restricted buy-in, no limit hold'em.
See if I want to read
I want to play it, dealer.
You want to play it?
But they're not going to see upstairs what I have.
Looks like we had a box card there for seat 6.
I hope this is a better hand, guys.
Looks like there's a whole bunch of garbage out there.
Yeah, it
I hope
does.
this is a better card than that queen.
Check it.
And seat 6
It
is
is.
going to limp in here with 6-7 off suit. Looks like David's reaching for raising chips. He's got queen 5 mixing it up a little bit. Queen 5 suited, he makes a raise.
35.
35, of course, he's in the cutoff, so he's going to make a little mini raise.
Just me and you.
39.
It just sucks when, players at the table give you money and you can't pick up a hand that goes, works well together. So he's making do with queen 5.
Well, I mean, if it is a slightly passive table, you can make those raises on the button and on the cutoff.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe try to put in a bet on the flop. If it misses everyone, take it down. The Dave Tuckman School of No Limit Hold'em. Which I guess probably a lot of people hold higher than the John Boerhaus School of No Limit Hold'em now.
Well, Dave's actually a very good player. I played No Limit with him. I don't think I've played any other game with him. But his No Limit game's strong.
Got a couple limpers. Seat 8's got pocket 10s. Let's see if he raises here. Yeah, here we go. $50 raise. Now let's see if David plays with the ace 10 out of position. From what we've seen of him, I would be very surprised. And he does not.
Oh, no.
And Andy takes it down. What was that ice cream place that you said you worked at?
Farrell's.
Okay, we didn't have those in Massachusetts, but we did have Friendlies and Brigham's.
Oh, that's
Anyone
still
knows?
out, though, right? Farrell's, I don't think they even have one anymore.
I don't think they have
They might
Friendlies
have
out here in
one.
California, do they?
No, but, I mean, Friendly's is still on the East Coast. They
Oh,
still
yeah.
have Friendly's out there.
All right.
Farrell's was
You know about the
actual
East Coast?
sit-down, a little bit. It was a sit-down ice cream parlor, but it also served food. And you used to have birthday parties there, and they used to run like this big bowl
that's
of
what-
ice cream in the zoo and have to ring the bells.
That's
and-
what Friendlies used to do too. But Friendlies, I think, destroyed themselves because they tried to switch to a full-fledged restaurant. They just didn't have the resources to, and it was all crappy food.
Right.
They're nice. I like it.
They have different lenses.
That was a great first
What
job.
brand is that?
Is that like the? Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the Ziggy Piggy ice cream? And they all finished it, and Napoleon ended up lapping it up
I don't
with his
think I've
finger
seen.
at the
I don't
end.
think I've seen that. But it was probably something like that. It was an old time. We used to wear garter belts, and then they had a candy parlor in there. All the old kind of
Garter
All the
belts?
kind of cold old candy, like those candies that are on the long strip with the dots on it.
Yeah.
The button candy. Yeah.
We got a raise here by seat 9 with 6-9 of clubs. He got called in 4 spots. He made it 20 to go, so it's a $100 pot. Ace King 8 comes out on the flop. No one has an. Oh, excuse me. Eric has an ace in seat 1. And it gets checked to him, and it looks like he's going to put in a bet.
60.
He bets 60 into a $100 pot. Danny has a gut shot.
He called with the gut shot earlier.
He's going to call again, it looks like.
Yeah.
Problem here is that, I mean, if you make this call, you're really trying to play implied odds. I don't think you can get paid off all that much by ace-6 if a jack comes
Well,
in
yeah,
on the turn.
but he doesn't know he has 8-6. So
Turns a 4. Now Eric picks up a flush draw.
now
Check.
Danny only has 3 jacks as outs.
Pot's $220. He's going to bet 200 here.
200.
And I'm sure that Danny is going to fold. Or he should fold.
Can't really be certain about some of these players here.
Well, he's thinking about it for a long time now, too. It's a pretty simple equation here. $200 bet into $220 pot, 420, 200 to call, and he's going to get rid of it. And Eric continues to take it down. You guys ever got hoodsies out here? Do you know what a hoodsie is? Hoodsie? No? I think that might be a Massachusetts thing. It's a little ice cream cone cup. Ice cream cup. Made by the Hood Dairy Company. If you notice that dairy companies and milk companies and stuff, there's never really a national chain. It's almost the same thing with supermarkets. They're all regional because in the nature of produce and dairy.
So they don't have like a Ralph's on the East Coast?
No.
Really?
No.
Huh.
No. I don't know
I
of
didn't know
any
that.
national supermarket chain. I might be incorrect about that.
Well, what about Trader Joe's? That's got to be.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is, but that's a little bit different, though.
Right.
Okay, kicker, average kicker.
Eric is up to $1,400. Gus is at about $1,280. So I'm trying to figure out. I think Gus is the big
Alan's
winner.
gained a little bit of
Yeah.
ground.
Gus
60
is
whopping dollars.
Gus is the big winner there with just that hand with the pocket queens.
Right.
Set over set. Looks like we get a new player coming into C3. It's Hollywood Russ.
You just
We get a raise here by the big blind, I believe. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Seat 4 has raised. Okay, yeah, it was out of the big blind. You're going to get a couple callers. Or Russ had actually, I think Russ had actually bought the button, so Gus raised it under the gun. There we go. 5 deuce here on the flop. So Danny's hit a pair in seat 5. Gus bets.
85.
He's going to bet 85 here. It's about, pot was about 120.
Because I live in Santa
So it's about
Clarita, right off the
$200 pot.
Yeah,
85
some
to
days
call.
I just feel like not dealing with traffic, go up there. They started playing no limit, like a 200 game, and sometimes you could kill it.
And once again, Danny's taking a long time here.
You know, the other
Yeah,
two
he's
times
taken
you got
some
these
Hollywood
limit,
lessons,
you know, 4,
acting
8, 6,
lessons
12
from seat
players that
6.
just check you, call you to the river, man.
Well, I don't think that Harry can make a call here with Jack 9 this time.
No,
He must.
and he must quickly.
Yep. Pot is now about 280. The turn's a 4. Gives Gus a wheel draw. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to shut down? He's checked. Check, check. And the river here is a 10. And now he bets 100. Well, you have to call here if you play it like that,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
he does make the call.
That's it.
5 is good, and he's going to take it down.
Good call. Nice call.
I still think that you bet there on the turn if you're 7-5 and it gets checked. You can't always be scared that someone's going to check raise you, right? The guy, he raised under the gun.
Well, the funny thing is on the river when he made that instant call, he told Gus, "I put you on ace queen."
Yeah.
So if you put him on ace queen, why did he give him the free card?
Why would you check behind him on the turn?
Some people don't understand, like, what the hell you doing.
Lines,
Some people
please.
play aces, I play 5-7.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'll pay up to $120 for that hand.
But not many things do here at the World of Live Fight.
Right.
Button has moved over to Hollywood Russ, who bought the button last hand. And ace looks like he's going to raise. He's got queen jack off suit. And we're going to get a call here by Al with ace 10 off suit. Wow. And seat 8 is in there with ace 6 off suit. And the flop comes jack high, so ace is hit top pair. Seat 9. And he's going to bet.
45.
He bets 45. And everyone else mucks. And ace takes it down. Well, Jive Dadson says he's 58. So there you go. And look at this. Baron Banger Toth. You know, when I was saying Jive Soul Bro, I actually was referencing the WWF Pile Driver album from, I don't know if you were ever into wrestling. I was when I was like about 6 years old. They used to have this manager called Slick that made this music video called Jive Soul Bro. So there you go. I can't believe someone picked up on that. It's amazing.
So I called. I was hoping.
You were actually into wrestling, huh?
No, like when I was in '87 and '88 when I was 7 years old.
40.
Pay-per-view WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, and WrestleMania 4, the tournament for the WWF Championship. But I quickly grew out of that.
Raise.
Got a raise here by seat 3, pocket 8s, and pocket jacks in seat 5 is going to re-raise to 100. So I think Hollywood Russ brought it in for 30, and he got, or 40. And Danny has made it 100. So $40 raise, re-raise to 100. And he's going to make the call, and he's in trouble. Let's see if a couple cards will come here to save him. Maybe might be some scary cards. Ace 10 7.
75.
Now Danny bets here. He bets 75. Now it's interesting. You can observe that a lot of people who don't tend to necessarily re-raise out of the blinds at something like Ace King or Ace Queen, regardless of what you have right now, if an ace comes, I mean, you could get him off of kings here, right?
I had an ace 9.
Depends on the player. Most players, yes.
Oh,
You would have won.
I would have won. Is that queen? Jacks?
Yeah, 6s or 7s.
Well, that was a good bet to find out where he's at.
I already know.
Button has moved over to seat 5.
But if I check, you're gonna bet high, and then I get screwed. So I had a feeling what you had, so I had to bet.
Limp here from up front. And the Kentucky Fried Chicken. People remember that video with Slick?
What?
Wow, that's amazing.
Was he the wrestler?
He was the manager.
Uh-huh.
That is amazing. Slick. Jive Soul Bro. Wow, I can't believe that you guys pulled that up on 2+2. That is amazing. We got a raise here
2 players.
by seat 6 with deuce 3 off suit, and 5-3 has called. So 5-3 against deuce 3.
What's amazing is how fast these guys
Yeah.
get it on here.
Ace is checked, and Harry
Get that
checks, and ace
picture
checks
right
right
up.
behind him. River is an ace, or turn is an ace, excuse me. And Harry, who raised out of the blind, is going to bet
About that flop for you.
an ace
With
box.
with my jag.
Yeah, Slick was a manager
I would've been in trouble more
of
than
such great wrestling stars as... boy, I don't even remember. But he was one of those managers. Yeah.
I think I only know like 3 or know like
Oh,
3
yeah.
names: Hulk Hogan and
But he was a manager, and he did this video called Jive Soul Bro, and it had him in there eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was a funny video. Button is in seat 6 here. Seat 9 is limped in. Doesn't look like anyone has, but this one might get chopped. Oh, Harry actually's got Queen 10
yeah, he's not letting that go.
on the button.
But he only limped.
So it's limped around 4 ways. And he flops, looks like top 2 pair. Let's see how long he takes with this one. Let's see if he checks it, Shirley, on the button. Yep, well, wait a minute. He's going to actually bet the top 2.
45.
Looks like 45. So he's actually over-betting
Overbet the pot, yeah.
Give him credit. And everyone's going to pass. And he takes it down.
And he shows it again.
I laid down Queen 6.
You don't remember the Mouth of the Mouth? Jimmy Hart?
No.
No? Mouth of the South. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
With that one. Yeah.
No, that's
I'm
nice.
not
That's
really
okay.
a big wrestling
Like I
fan.
said, I wasn't either, except when I was 7 years old. Yeah, he had a megaphone. He'd shout in your face. Bobby the Brain Heenan.
No way I'm checking that.
Limp there by seat 4. Gus, King 9. He's our big winner so far
I know The
tonight.
Rock.
Yeah, The Rock was much later, though. Much, much later.
I like him.
I thought you didn't like guys with muscles.
I'm not saying I like his, big muscles. I just like him. Like, I've seen him on interviews, and he's just so cool. He's just...
30 to go, please.
$35 raise here. Look at this. Look at Dave. He's loosening up. Deuce 10. Again, he's going to raise it from the button. And if he fires on the flop and nobody hits, he might be able... Look at Harry make a loose call with 3-9. So we're going to see it. It's a $105 pot 3 ways.
Now, I'm looking at both their stacks. They both have about the same amount of chips, Andy and David. And David's just been sitting there patiently taking his spots.
Well, 885, if David... Oh, he didn't bet
He
it,
doesn't
Shirley. If
follow
he
through.
bet it, he would have taken it. Now, if it gets checked to him now... Well, this is actually a great time for Andy to bet. He's got a flush draw, and he is going to bet. I mean, you've got to throw that... If you're going to make that mini raise, throw a $50 bet in there on the flop. See where you're at. He would have taken the whole thing down. $65 bet here by Andy. And nobody calls. And Shirley, this is going to be the last hand of the night, so thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
Of course, you can join us tomorrow for our big 25-50 no-limit hold'em game, $5,000 max buy-in, restricted buy-in, and such players as Yosh and some of the businessmen, and hopefully we'll get some of those action no-limit players here in the game. So last hand of the night.
Not really much here. Jack Queen. Seat 2.
Queen Jack. Ace 7 of hearts there for Gus. And this pot looks like it's going to be raised here by seat 8 with ace 8. And there are 3 aces are dead. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a family pot.
Block party.
$25 raise. 6 ways, $150 pot. Here we go. 9-6-3. And Harry's got top 2 pair there in seat 6. He's playing 69.
That's twice, right?
Yeah, he had
it's
bottom
the same
2.
player when he hit 2 pair.
And he's going to bet.
And it's going to reinforce the fact you've got to play that hand.
Look at Andy. He calls with the ace-8. Is he setting up a move?
This is seat 8 we're talking about.
Wow. Ace-8.
I've seen him do things that haven't made sense all night long.
$240 pot here going to the turn. Heads up, 2 pair against ace high. The turn's a jack. And Harry bets 100.
You notice he doesn't really say much at all when he has a strong hand.
And Andy lays it down. And that is going to do it for us tonight, folks. Thanks a lot for joining us again. And stay tuned tomorrow for our big No Limit Hold'em game. Of course, if we webcast from Monday through Friday from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock Pacific time. Cash games, not tournaments, with hole cards and with us commentating. It's just marvelous. And we want to thank everyone out there on 2+2 for joining us. Everyone here in the booth, and for Shirley Rosario, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
Good night.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.